What an exciting day. What an exciting day it is. I'm so excited for today. First of all, there's some kind of party that I wasn't invited to on my street. There's a bunch of cars outside my window, but that's okay because I got a bigger party. We got bigger fish to fry, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to go back to Butler, PA. The return to Butler, Pennsylvania. Donald Trump said, I'll be back. And he's back. He's back today. And the rally crowd, holy shnikes, man. I don't even know. I'm going to show you photos. I'm going to show you video. You're not even going to believe the size of this rally. And I know size doesn't matter, according to Kamala Harris. But, man, Donald Trump's got a huge rally. His rally is ginormous. Listen, before we get to any of that, I found something today, which, oh, by the way, I was going to show you this. I have I don't know which hat I'm going to wear. I have a lot of Donald Trump. Look, I have the traditional Make America Great Again hat. Maybe I'll start with that one because that's a crowd pleaser. I've got Keep America Great from 2020. I've also got the gold Trump 45th president, of the United States of America. 40 was Reagan. And then I've got the Trump visor with the faux hair. And I don't know which one. I know which one I should. You know what? I'll just vary it. We got a while. This is going to be a long rally. We got an hour till the actual rally begins, till Donald Trump takes the stage. Then he likes to talk a lot. And because this is the return to Butler rally, I imagine there's going to be a lot to say. There's going to be a lot of presentations. There's going to be a lot of commemorations. But listen to this. Look what I found. I was going through my old files. I was going through my old stuff. And I found this. And I thought, wouldn't it be great to start today's show by playing the national anthem as performed by our good friends Camille and Haley.
Hello, Mark Kaye and fellow
Patriots.
It's Camille and Haley, a sister duo from Tulsa, Oklahoma. And Mark Kaye found our song Keep America Great in 2020 first.
He shared it, our backyard version, and I was watching Camille. I was like, Camille, how many views does it have now? She's like, 22,000. And it kept going up. It was so cool.
1.5 million views on his page and 33 million views on Twitter, YouTube, and all the works, TikTok.
That's so great. So we are so honored to be invited by Mark Kaye to perform for you guys and for our country, the national anthem. Here we go. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Thank you so much, and
You can find our music at CamilleandHaley.com. God bless you guys.
That was so great. Oh, I got to put my hat back on now. I put it on. I had to take it right back. That was so great. They've since, they're not living in the same place anymore. One of them's married and, has a baby and stuff, and that kind of stuff happens. That happens. Well, unless you're a Democrat, they don't encourage families. It doesn't matter. But thank you, Camille and Haley. That was fantastic job, and we loved hearing them perform. All right, listen. With the Donald Trump, like I said, this rally is huge. This is the scene right now at Butler, Pennsylvania. This is the aerial footage of Butler, Pennsylvania. And as you can see, there's the stage area where Donald Trump's going to be with the big red, carpet right there in the front. You've got the big, huge American flag hanging off of the cranes as it did back on July 13th. The first time Donald Trump went to Butler, Pennsylvania. That photo now iconic. It's everywhere, man. Everywhere you go, you see that photo of Donald Trump yelling, "Fight, fight, fight." But look at the crowd. Look at the people. This is like the inauguration, man. I feel like I'm looking down at the Washington Mall for the inauguration. That's how many people there were on inauguration day. And this thing is just incredible. I mean, it is going to be one of the biggest, one of the most raucous, one of the rowdiest, one of the most patriotic rallies you've ever seen. And this is going to be the rally that really will send the Democrats off the deep end. This is the rally that's really going to pack. I mean, it's going to be the end all be all for Kamala Harris's campaign. She's already got some issues. We'll get into. We've got, like I said, about an hour till showtime, so we'll get into some of her issues. We'll check real quick. Yeah, we've still got a lot of special guests who are chit-chatting, and we'll let you know as soon as Donald Trump comes out at 5:00, or let's be honest, when Donald Trump says he's going to take the stage at 5:00, you really shouldn't set your watch by it. That's rock star time. That's rock star time. That's celebrity. That's the celebrity time. What happens is they always say, oh yeah, the concert starts at 7, and then somewhere around 9:00, the main act comes out, to perform. But anyway, so that's what we got going on. But Kamala Harris, she had a rough one yesterday. She was getting set up by Joe Biden. She was getting smacked down by the teleprompter. Byron Donalds handed it to her on CNN. She was continuing her. I don't know what this attack on the Ivy League is, but I wonder if all the Ivy League universities know that they're getting attacked repeatedly. Boom, boom, but they're getting bloodied by the Democrat Party. We'll get into all that. But again, the crowd, as I monitor the crowd size. Oh, holy cow. Sorry, that was a little loud. I had to boost it a little bit for Camille and Hale. That's the crowd size right there. But look at that. That is just insane. We're going to loop that for a minute. Let me put that on loop for you. That is insanity. If you had 3 presidents showing up, you couldn't get that kind of a crowd. In fact, I know that because in New York City, they had 3 presidents. They had Joe Biden, Bill Clinton, and Barack Obama, and they couldn't get that many people. This is another angle from it. Somebody posted this on TikTok or Instagram. Look at this. Just red hats as far as the eye can see. That is so many people. That is so many people. Pete Hegseth from Fox News was talking to the crowd earlier today, too, and he was asking them, hey, how many of you is this your second go-round? How many of you were at the OG Butler, PA rally back in July? The one that Donald Trump said we were going to redo after an assassin tried to, take his life. Here he is. The crowd.
Hey, who is here on July 13th? July 13th? Ma'am, all of you? So, again, I didn't stage this. You walked the line. There's people everywhere who were here on July 13th. Ma'am, just how does it feel to be back?
I'm excited. I'm so excited. This is such a monumental moment. I can't wait to see President Trump. After the last time I was right behind the stage when it happened. It was scary, but we were troopers. We all stuck together. All the Trump supporters stuck together, and here we are. There's a lot of return people here, and I'm happy to be here. I'm excited. This is great. I'm so excited to be with my people. So yeah, we're good.
Lots of people here. Hi guys, I've been to a lot of Trump rallies. There's Trump rallies, and then there's this one. So
that is exactly
we'll
right.
Continue to monitor the crowd, but it's big.
It's big. We're gonna continue to monitor the crowd, but this just in, it's big. Yeah, it is. I've been to a lot of Trump rallies too. And I've never been to a Trump rally that size. And I've been to Trump rallies in major cities. Butler, Pennsylvania, not a major city. But the reason, and this is important, the reason that you see so many people back at the Butler, Pennsylvania rally, the reason Pete Hegseth is like, everywhere I turn, there's repeat Trump rally goer. It's the same people. The reason is because, unlike Kamala Harris, those people aren't bussed in from somewhere else. Those people live there. Those people don't have to be bussed in from some other Pennsylvania town or from Michigan or from Massachusetts. When Kamala Harris went to New Hampshire, which is technically a blue state, it's surrounded by she couldn't even get a big enough crowd in New Hampshire, in New England, which is they breed Democrats over. That's Kennedy country. I guess the old school Kennedys, not the real. The new Kennedys are more conservative than the old. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But the fact of the matter is she had to bus people in from Boston. Donald Trump is in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, Butler, Pennsylvania, and he doesn't have to bus people in. And they came to what? And this is the other thing, too. Think about this. These are people that went to a Donald Trump rally in July. They got shot at. They were standing in the middle of the field. They witnessed a murder. They witnessed, assassin bullets were flying over their heads. They ducked down. They saw their choice for president lunge up, blood on his face, on his ear, screaming, fight, 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 fist in the air. They witnessed that, and they were like, I have to go back. Most people when they get shot at, don't go back to the same place they got shot at. But not in Butler, Pennsylvania, not Donald Trump fans, not Republicans, not combative conservatives who know that they need to fight. They come back, and they come back harder. And that's why you see all of these people. That's why you see all of those red hats. That's why you see all these conservatives. There's one dude there, and you see him, he's like pointing at the, yeah! There's one dude with, he's like, look at that. There's the state. Donald Trump's going to come right out there. He's all in his camo, which again, the last time there were some bullets flying, so maybe camo was the right choice. I'm in camo as well, too, but then I have my red. I look like I'm going hunting, don't I? I have a camouflage shirt on, and then I have a red hat, which is pretty much, like when you go hunting, you have camo, but then you got to wear the safety orange. This could be kind of like my new safety orange. I think they actually make these and say, anyway, I'm going to change my hat out here in just a minute because we're going to, let's get back to Kamala Harris. Because I said Kamala Harris did not have a good day yesterday. Donald Trump had a fantastic day. Donald Trump did a town hall with Anna Paulina Luna. I think it was in Michigan. Is that right? And with Anna Paulina Luna, who's amazing. But Donald Trump, this is why Donald Trump is so great and why Kamala Harris is so bad. Donald Trump not only does live events and takes live questions from people and has conversations with the media and with the voters and the constituents, but he also is a person. And when he acts like a person, he doesn't act cringy. When Kamala Harris tries to act like a regular person, she comes across so cringe. When she tries to be like just a regular person, she has these weird accents and things.
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time.
Yeah, I mean, that's Kamala Harris trying to be normal. It's the most abnormal thing you've ever seen.
You all helped us win in 2020, and we're going to do it again in 2024.
2024, that's right. And you fell out of a coconut tree?
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
It's just so awkward. Yeah, I know it's so awkward and cringy, but Donald Trump is like a normal guy. He walks out on stage, okay? He walks out on stage with Anna Paulina Luna. He's about to do this town hall. He's got thousands and thousands of people watching him, and he takes one look at the chair and goes, I'm not sitting in this chair.
I think I'm going to stand. This chair is the most uncomfortable chair I've ever. First of all, it spins. And the one thing I don't want is to fall on my ass, because that will be the only story. They'll say, sir, you did great. Too bad you fell. That would be the only story. So I'm not sitting in that sucker. I think it's a booby trap. That was put there by Kamala.
I mean, and he did. He stood. That's the other thing, too. Donald Trump is such a real person. For being a billionaire, for being the former president of the United States, he comes out there, he sees the chair, he goes, I'm not sitting in that chair. But he doesn't go, get me a different chair. He doesn't snap his fingers and go, you, boy, get me a new chair. Or you, girl, get this out of here. Get me something I can sit in. Get me something that doesn't swivel. He goes, I'll just stand. I'm good. Thank you very much. I'll just stand. And that's, because he's Donald Trump. He can stand. Joe Biden, on the other hand, can't really stand. By the way, Joe Biden, for the first time ever, this is amazing. Joe Biden, for the first time ever, came out to a White House press briefing. Dude's been in the White House for almost 4 full years. It's amazing. It's amazing. He's been in the White House for almost 4 full years. Never once before has Joe Biden ever come out and said, I'm here in the press briefing room. I'm ready to take some questions. Let's do this thing. Donald Trump did it almost every day. In fact, they tried to rip him away from the podium. The media loved it because they all became superstars by asking him these leading questions. And if you don't believe me, just like Jim Acosta was a no-name until Donald Trump became president and offered up himself to the press every single day, and Jim Acosta took full advantage of it. Well, now Joe Biden finally does a press briefing, and he throws Kamala Harris right under the bus.
There have obviously been a number of crises that the country has been facing over the past several days, with the hurricane, with the port strike, with the situation in the Middle East. Can you talk about how your vice president, who is running for the presidency, has worked on these crises and what role she has played over the past several days?
Well, I'm in constant contact with her. She's aware we're singing from the same song sheet. She helped pass all the laws that are being employed now. She was a major player in everything we've done, including passage of legislation which we were told we could never pass. And so she's been, and her staff is interlocked with mine in terms of all the things we're doing.
Wow. Wow, that doesn't sound like somebody. That doesn't sound like somebody who is totally separate from the vice president. Kamala Harris for months now has been trying to say, "I'm not Joe Biden. We're going to turn the page on Joe Biden. This is a whole different scenario than Joe Biden." And here comes Joe Biden, and he walks right out. He's like, "Hold on, lady. Hold on one second, everybody. Just so you know, we're singing from the same song sheet. We are in lockstep. Her staff and my staff work together like this. We are one." And this is with 32 days left in the campaign. 32 days left in the campaign. Joe Biden decides, I'm going to come out there and remind everybody that Kamala Harris is just like me. It's very I mean, to talk about Joe Biden is mad. Where am I? Joe Biden is mad. Joe Biden is still angry. He's fed up with the whole gosh darn party. He hates everybody. He hates Barack Obama. He hates Nancy Pelosi. He hates Chuck Schumer. He hates all of it. He probably hates Jill at this point. He's probably sick and tired. If you're a Democrat, Joe Biden's like, I hate you. And pardon me. And he walks out there and he goes, Kamala's been spending the last several months trying to say I'm bad and that we're turning the page and everything I've done is bad. Well, I'm going to show her. And he wanders into the White House press briefing room and basically tells everybody, Kamala Harris, we're like this. We're of one mind. She's the person that came up with and executed so many of our plans. In fact, Susan Rice told us that months ago, and apparently it's still the same. Oh, wait, hold on.
Kamala Harris has been an integral architect and executor of the policies of the Biden-Harris administration.
Boom. I mean, there you go. Now you have multiple people from the Biden-Harris administration saying, oh, Kamala Harris, yeah, she's been an executor of the plan, an architect and an executor of the plan that the Biden-Harris administration has had in place since they took office 3 years ago. So it's wild. It's wild how she's trying to do it. Byron Donalds, BT Dubs, sorry, Keith. Byron Donalds from Florida, representative. Great. He was on CNN, man. And it's always funny to watch CNN talk to black Republicans. I love it. I love watching CNN. I love any liberal media outlet try to talk to black Republicans because it's a balancing act, right? They're like, he's a Republican, so we should hate him, but he's black, so I don't know what to do. And Byron Donalds just had his way with CNN when it came to Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris's continued desire to hide from the media. Kamala Harris's refusal to do any kind of sit-down interviews. Listen to Byron Donalds just go off.
We have seen Kamala Harris now in 4 different interviews now. She was with the All in Smoke podcast today with Matt Barnes and Stephen Jackson. We have not heard her actually go through a coherent argument for why her economic policies or any other policies are actually going to work. And when she's pressed on these issues, her default response is, I grew up as a middle-class child. That's not true. Now, that is very true. I've watched everything. I've watched every interview.
She did give a whole speech on her economic policy.
Giving a speech in the teleprompter is not discussing policy off the cuff when you're asked directly by any reporter or any citizen in a town hall format or anything. And she has not proven that she can do that. To the contrary, what she is proving by her lack of being available to the press and really to the people is that she is heavily scripted. No. And so anybody can read the teleprompter, but what's going on when the teleprompter is off and you got to respond to real policy?
We have the answer to that, by the way. Byron, I don't know, this was so apropos. Byron Donalds goes, we know that she can handle a teleprompter. We know that she can read from the teleprompter. But what happens when the teleprompter is off and she needs to respond? Well, Congressman Donalds, funny you should ask, because that exact thing happened yesterday. Kamala Harris was giving a speech in Michigan. And near the end of the speech, the teleprompter, I don't know, went out, crapped out. Some intern turned it off prematurely. And Kamala Harris was staring at a crowd full of people and had no idea, no clue what to say.
Remember his number? 32. Today we got 32 days until the election.
No teleprompter. Oops.
So 32 days. 32 days. Okay, we got some business to do.
I think teleprompter's back on.
32
Oh,
days.
no, it's not.
And we know we will do it. And this is going to be a very tight race until the very end. This is going to be a very tight race until the very end. We are the underdog, and we know we have some hard work ahead.
Okay, so she's reverting back to the... now, I watched that clip like 92 times yesterday, at least 32 times. It is... You want to talk about deer in the headlights. People would say Tim Walz was a deer in the headlights, which he was. But that right there, that was panic. And that is a woman. That is a woman who... As we know, grew up in a middle-class neighborhood, in a middle-class upbringing, and her mother couldn't afford a house till she was a teenager and all that other stuff. But look, that's a woman who supposedly was a prosecutor. You're telling me that as a prosecutor, you don't walk into court and have to come up with stuff off the cuff? You don't have to cross-examine a witness and have to relay information that you've just heard of or try to, figure out what you're saying on the fly? She was attorney general. She was a state senator. She was senator from California. This is a woman who can't give a speech, and she's been vice president of the United States for 3.5 years and wants to be president. But when the teleprompter goes out, she doesn't know what to say. Donald Trump half the time doesn't even read the teleprompter. Donald Trump's the opposite. This is how they're two opposite people. These are two opposite people. Kamala Harris is a left-wing lunatic, socialist, radical Marxist. Donald Trump is a right-wing states rights capitalist who just wants you to have as much money as you can and be able to do with it whatever you want, and then he's just going to leave your butt alone. That's the two different sides of these two people. You've got the Republican, you've got the Democrat, you've got the capitalist, you've got the outlier from Washington, D.C., and you've got the swamp creature who's been in politics her entire life, never held a real job whatsoever. These are the two different extremes. You've got Donald Trump, who they can't keep on the teleprompter, and Kamala Harris, who they can't get off the teleprompter. It's really, she didn't even know where she was going with the 32 remark.
Remember his number, 32. Today we got 32 days until the election. So 32 days.
Oh, so that's it. We got 32 days till the election. So, 32 days, folks. Anybody know any jokes? Anybody got a joke to tell while we're waiting for this teleprompter to go? That's who she is. That's who she is. And when she's off the teleprompter, she still tells scripted stories. They talked about the podcast, All the Smoke podcast that she did. I have a clip of that, and I'll play it. But just so you know, sometimes when I play these podcasts, they get dinged for copyright infringement, so I have to cut them out of the later broadcast. So if you're not watching this live and you're watching it at a later date, first of all, thank you so much. Take this moment, by the way, to subscribe, because we go live every single day, Monday through Friday at noon. We're going to go live on the weekends through the election too, so that we can keep you informed and keep you up to date on what's going on. Plus, we post all sorts of great content and interviews and shorts and all sorts of stuff. So wherever you are, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, take this opportunity to like, to subscribe, to follow, to keep this channel going, to keep the fun going. But as I said before, they might cut this out later on because of copyright rules. That happens from time to time. But listen to this. This is Kamala Harris telling an off-the-cuff story on a podcast that is totally scripted and has been memorized and pre-prepared by her people.
It's frustrating. There was this one journalist who said to me, I'm doing this interview, and he says, well, you have family members that went to Stanford and Harvard, but you chose to go to Howard. No, elite schools like Stanford, but you chose to go to Howard. Now, I was ready to hang this thing up.
Right.
I was literally, I was about to go off, which would not have been cool, because I'm trying to get elected.
Yeah. But you went to Howard.
They went to these elite schools, and you went to, and I said, well, you do know that Howard University is the Mecca. Like,
Exactly.
Just put that, let's put that in its place. And so the frustration, to be honest with you, is that, sometimes I'm like, look, I am not running to be Black History Professor. I'm running to be president.
We're going to get back to that in just a minute. J.D. Vance is on, and I want to hear what he has to say because J.D. Vance is the main.
And my friends, in 31 days, this state, starting with Butler, is going to turn red, and we're going to send Donald Trump back to the White House. What an amazing crowd. What an amazing day. Proud. And my friends, in 31 days, to welcome President Trump. This state, starting with Butler, is going to turn red, and we're going to send Donald Trump back to the White House.
There we go. They went live early on the Trump feed. Here we go.
I'm so proud on this historic day to welcome President Trump. I know he's in route right now. He should be here in about, I don't know, a half an hour or so. But it is this community has been so good to me and President Trump. This community is so strong and so resilient. And my friends, we are so proud to stand here in Butler, Pennsylvania, ready to take back the White House, ready to take back this country. Now, 84 days ago, of course, on this very field, an assassin tried to fill our hearts with terror. But we're here to say we can't be intimidated. We cannot be stopped. We won't be denied. We will make America great again, and we're going to do it together. Now, my friends, I know you'll join me in saying we're going to remember July 13th, 2024 forever. Many of you were here, and it is a testament to your courage and your patriotism that you're here again today. Now, you heard the shots. You saw the blood. We all feared the worst. But you knew everything would be okay when President Trump raised his fist high in the air and shouted, "Fight, fight." Now, I believe, as sure as I'm standing here today, that what happened was a true miracle. And on that day, America felt the truth of Scripture. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. I truly believe that God saved President Trump's life that day. And I believe that God is with us right now and watches over this incredible nation every single day. Now, there are so many people here, so many people we're honored to have, it would be impossible to name all of them. I see the great Sean Parnell over here. Sean, you're a hero, man. You were here on that day. We're joined by many first responders, elected officials, and other distinguished guests. And as we gather on these grounds, once again, my friends, we especially thank God for the two great Americans who were wounded and survived in July. That's David Dutch and James Copenhaver. God bless you guys. Now we pray for their full and complete recoveries, and we're honored that David and his family were able to join us today. Let's give a round of applause to David. God bless you, and God bless your family. But our hearts are heavy with sadness, knowing that there's one hero who's not here with us today, and that's, of course, the great Corey Compertore. We're never going to forget Corey. We're never going to forget his heroism that day. And I want everyone to join me right now in sending our support, our respect, our love to the Comparatori family here with us today. We love you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for loving this country, and thank you for not giving up on it. Now, after the heartache of that day, our nation hoped to turn a page. We hoped that our opponents would remember that before we are Democrats or before we are Republicans, we are Americans. But sadly, our opponents have not heeded Abraham Lincoln's words and listened to the better angels of our nature. Even after that terrible assassination attempt that took one man's life and nearly took many others, they continue to use dangerous, inflammatory rhetoric. The media has continued to call Donald Trump, the guy who actually won his primary, a threat to democracy. A Democrat senator called Donald Trump an existential threat to our democracy. Kamala Harris said that he was attacking, quote, the foundations of our democracy. And I think you all will join me in saying to Kamala Harris, how dare you talk about threats to democracy? Donald Trump took a bullet for democracy. What the hell have you done? The truth is that Kamala Harris and her allies, they attack Donald Trump in order to silence us, we the people. They have declared war explicitly on the First Amendment to the United States Constitution. Kamala Harris proudly says she wants to censor the internet, and Tim Walz said there is no guarantee to free speech. What do we think about that? But we all know, my friends, we all know that censorship is only the first step. Just look at everything they've done to President Trump. First, they tried to silence him. When that didn't work, they tried to bankrupt him. When that didn't work, they tried to jail him. And with all the hatred they have spewed at President Trump, it was only a matter of time before somebody tried to kill him. And that's exactly what happened, not just here in Butler, Pennsylvania, but just a few weeks later in Florida. 3 weeks ago, while these guys still go out there and attacking him as a threat to democracy, another gunman armed with an AK-47 style rifle tried to finish the job. In fact, before the gunman in Florida tried to kill Donald Trump, he wrote, quote, democracy is on the ballot. The exact same words that Kamala Harris wrote after accusing Trump of being a dictator only days before the first attempt on his life. But for all of those watching at home, and for all those who might be undecided in this crowd, though there probably aren't that many undecided voters in this crowd, I want to say, you know what's so incredible? You know what's so incredible? It's how Donald Trump responded to all of this. Because despite being shot here in Butler, President Trump immediately called for national unity. And I'll never forget, my friends, what he told me after the second assassination attempt. It was probably the first person that he called that Sunday. And I was sitting at home with my son in Cincinnati, and he said, JD, they tried to do it again. I said, they tried to do what, sir? He said, they tried to shoot me again. And at first, I was in disbelief. I think, immediately my thoughts went to him and how he was doing. Of course, he was physically okay because he was calling me, but I said, "Sir, are you doing okay?" And of course, President Trump, in his President Trump way, said, "Yeah, I'm doing fine. You know, I'm a little pissed off because I was about to make a dirt birdie on the 6th hole and they wouldn't let me finish." But it made me think. It made me think about the leadership qualities we want in a president of the United States. And so I'd like to ask you, who would you rather have facing down, Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping? Someone who is afraid of interviews with the friendly American media, or someone who faces down 2 assassins and returns triumphantly to the very place that he got shot? Now, some of you may have seen that I had a little debate with Governor Walz a few days ago.
Woo!
And I have to admit, I may be the only person in Butler, Pennsylvania that feels that way, but I feel a little bad for Tim Walz, if I'm being honest with you. Because Tim Walz has to defend the indefensible.
Yeah.
He has to act like Kamala is going to drive down inflation, bring up wages and bring back jobs and restore peace, the very peace that she destroyed. Well, I hate to break it to you, Tim, but everyone knows the truth. Kamala caused every single one of those problems because Kamala's day one in the White House was 1,400 days ago. Never let her lie to you and pretend that she's going to do something great. She's been in power for 3.5 years and she hasn't done a damn thing.
Amen. Can I get an amen? Woo!
And I hate to say it, but Kamala's record of failure is somehow only getting worse. Just a couple of days ago, I visited an area of our country ravaged by Hurricane Helene. The Appalachian region of Virginia, and we know the Appalachian region of this country has been left behind and ignored by a generation of American leaders. But what started out as a natural disaster is becoming a man-made disaster. When Appalachia was underwater, remember, President Biden was sitting on a beach and Kamala Harris was at a San Francisco fundraiser. That is not leadership. That is a disgrace. And now we're seeing reports that deployments of the military and the National Guard are moving at a snail's pace. My friends, who the hell is running this country right now? Because it sure isn't Joe Biden. It sure isn't Kamala Harris. The Harris administration has given billions of dollars to foreign countries and illegal aliens. But now they swoop in and they promise $750 to American citizens who have lost everything.
Boo!
To everybody watching, to everybody at this rally, I want to say, I promise you, when Donald J. Trump is back in the White House, we're going to have a president that puts America first.
Woo! He's such a good speaker, isn't he? The more I hear him speak, the more
we're going to ensure that
I'm excited for the
emergency
future.
funding goes to American citizens and not illegal aliens.
Yeah! Woo!
We're going to
American
create
citizens.
record prosperity with low inflation and rising take-home pay.
Yeah! Rising take-home pay.
We're going to
Woo!
secure that southern border, stop the drug trafficking, and send illegal aliens back home where they belong.
Woo! Do it! Do it!
We're going to drive down the cost of housing, drive down the cost of gas, drive down the cost of groceries, and we're going to clean up our streets to make America safe again.
Yay.
And whether we agree or disagree with you, we will always defend your God-given right to speak your mind without fear of censorship, violence, or persecution. But to everybody struggling, I want you to know that though our country has, yes, been through some hard times over these past few years, I want you to know that help is on the way. We have Think about this. The most generous people, the most abundant natural resources, including some great energy right here in the state of Pennsylvania. We've got the hardest workers. We've got the best values. All we need to restore American greatness is leadership that is fit to serve this country. So more than anything, I'd like all of us to leave this incredible community with a message of hope. Because I honestly believe that what happened right here in Butler is a metaphor for the United States of America. In this land, we may get knocked down, but we get right back up and we keep fighting, because in America, hope is never lost. We may face enemies who seek our demise, our destruction, and even our death. They may try to crush our spirits. They may try to convince us that victory is impossible, but in America, nothing is impossible. And as long as that flag yet waves, and I see it's doing it today, there is no trial we cannot endure, no obstacle we cannot overcome, and no defeat we cannot turn into victory. On this field, at this exact spot nearly 3 months ago, we thought President Trump was going to lose his life. But God still has a plan for him, just like he still has a plan for the United States of America.
Amen. Can I get an amen?
We, this movement, we have so much left to accomplish. And after the dark nights of trial, when the sun rises again, our flag is still going to be there, and nothing will stop the United States of America.
Fight, fight, fight.
So I want you all, I know he'll be out in just a little bit, but I want you all, when Donald Trump comes out here, to give him a true Butler, Pennsylvania welcome, because with Donald Trump as our leader, we are going to take this country back. We're going to make the American dream affordable again, and it's going to start right here in the great state of Pennsylvania. God bless you, Butler. Thank you for having me, and we are going to take this country back. I love you.
Yay! Wait, no music, no music. They're gonna hit me for. There we go. We're gonna do our own, but they're gonna hit me with copyright. Stop the music. All right, there, J.D. Vance, the 48th president of the United States, most likely. That guy, man. I'll tell you what. There's a reason for everything, right? We're all of like mind. We all believe that there's a higher call out there. We all believe that there's a higher purpose. We all believe that God has this great plan, right? I assume so. I assume we all do. If not, trust me when I say there's a higher purpose. There's a higher plan. God has plans for us, and they may not always be the plans that we think. Trust me, I know. I never thought that I'd be sitting at home every day talking to you fine people on the internet. I thought I'd be doing other things, but guess what? God has a plan. And God's plan apparently was not for Ron DeSantis to be vice president of the United States at this juncture. God's plan was for him to be here in Florida. And we know why, because he's the best governor the state's had in a very long time. I mean, Rick Scott was great. We've been blessed with some really great governors here in Florida. Wasn't his time. J.D. Vance, he's the guy that Donald Trump needed. He's the guy that Donald Trump wanted. And could you imagine anyone other than J.D. Vance debating Tim Walz? I don't think that Ron DeSantis, look, he's a great guy. He's a fantastic governor. He's not the best debater. And we're still working on speaking in a way that is decisive, that is direct, that is profound, that is powerful. He's still working on it. He'll get there, but he's still got some work to do. J.D. Vance is already there. J.D. Vance is the guy who can deliver the message against Tim Walz. He's the guy who can deliver the message against Kamala Harris. He's the guy that can walk into a Trump rally, walk into an interview, wake up and do the Sunday shows every single week, one after the other after the other. He's the guy that's going to be able to talk with foreign leaders, not just now and for the next 4 years, but maybe for the next 12. Think about that. Think about that. Let me take this hat off because it's making my head itch, and I don't want an itchy head. Think about this for a minute. J.D. Vance, vice president of the United States for 4 years. Then he has 2 potential terms as president. You want to talk about somebody just getting bigger and better and stronger and greater and more just polished and more professional and more experienced. I mean, 12 years in the White House. that's just fantastic news. I mean, and don't think that JD Vance is going to be a Kamala Harris. He's not going to be one of these vice presidents in name only, when every now and then maybe we'll make him the border czar. He's going to be active. This guy is an active leader. He's an active politician. When East Palestine was exploded, when the tanker truck exploded and the noxious fumes were taking over the whole entire atmosphere, when fish were bubbling up dead in the water, when all of those things started happening, JD Vance was there. JD Vance was there on the ground. JD Vance was talking to people. JD Vance was wading through the water in big rubber waders. He was taking samples of soil. He was doing everything that needed to be done. JD Vance is active, and JD Vance will be an active vice president. He's not going to be Mike Pence. When we spoke with Dinesh D'Souza the other day, Dinesh D'Souza described Mike Pence as a doll. Okay? JD Vance is not a doll. JD Vance is a leader. And if we have 4 years of Vice President Vance followed by 8 years of President Vance, this country is in phenomenal shape. If it goes the other way, we may have 4 more years of Kamala, and then I don't even know if JD Vance can help this country. So that's why this election is so important. That's why this election is so important. That's why we've all got to go out and vote. We've got to early vote. We've got to drag other people to vote. We've got to remind people to vote. If we know any Democrats, we've got to tell them, don't worry about voting this year. You'll be fine. If whatever you can do, if you've got people who are on the fence, you've got to tell them, look, you're on the fence. That means fences are good. So vote for the guy that wants to put a big fence up on the southern border, and that way the illegal aliens will stop coming in and stealing our jobs and taking our money and bringing in crime and drugs and degradation and human trafficking and eating our dogs and eating our cats. Eat the cat, eat the cat. By the way, I can't play that song anymore because they copyrighted it. Now every time I play, for those of you that hated the song, the good news is you're not going to hear it anymore. The bad news is I love that song, and I'm not going to be able to play it anymore. So that's the future right there. What we're watching here is, and thank God, because there's a lot of people that are going to be obsolete real quick come November 5th. Not just Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. I'm talking about a lot of these dinosaurs in the Republican Party who are longing for the good old day. Bring me back the good old days of George W. I miss George W. and Dick. And when I miss all those days when Republicans just spent more money than the Democrats do and declared endless wars. And when they were, didn't care about the people either. When they bowed down to the press, when they let the press browbeat them and call them names and they cowered. I miss those days before conservatives became combative. Those were the salad days. There's a lot of those people out there. They're in Washington, D.C., they're in the Congress still. They're in the White House. They're in the media. There's a lot of media folks. You probably listen to stuff on the radio who don't like Donald Trump, who don't like this new Republican Party, who long for the good old days, who wish Paul Ryan were still in some kind of elected capacity. There are people out there that are quote unquote Republicans, but don't like where Donald Trump is taking the Republican Party. Well, if Donald Trump wins on November 5th, those people are gone. They're fossils. There'll be oil in a couple of 100,000 million years. Those people are dead. They will have no future because their party will be gone. All of these people out here in Butler, Pennsylvania, these are Catriots. These are the new school of Republicans. For those of you that read the Catriot Manifesto, if you haven't, go to markkaye.com and download it for free. markkaye.com, MARKKAYE.com, and you can read the Catriot Manifesto when it talks all about these things that the old Republicans never did. And now they're just as scared. The Lincoln Project, these guys are just as scared of Donald Trump, if not more so. They see somebody like JD Vance and they're like, oh my God, there's more of them. They're like, they thought this party was stoppable. They thought that Donald Trump was stoppable. Why? Well, because they saw Lauren Boebert and they were like, oh, she's a flash in the pan. Ha ha. They saw somebody like Marjorie Taylor Greene and they thought, well, she's kind of annoying, but she doesn't have staying power. They saw someone like Matt Gaetz and they were like, ooh, he might be a little bit of a problem. But now it's not just those few people. It's Byron Donalds and Greg Steube and Corey Mills and Kat Kamek. And you've got Matt Gaetz and you've got Elise Stefanik and you've got JD Vance and Vivek Ramaswamy. And throw on top of that, we got a Kennedy And oh yes, Elon Musk, the richest, most powerful man in Silicon Valley. The guy, or he's not, he's in Texas now. The richest, most powerful. The guy owns free speech on the internet. The guy owns space. This guy is a weird hybrid, and that's not a Tesla joke, although it should be, of somebody who's all about renewable energy and electric hybrids and the environment and also free speech and hands-off government regulation. I mean, this is so weird. And it seems like what's going to happen now is those old school Republicans are looking out at the sea of people and thinking to themselves, we're doomed. When Donald Trump wins, Liz Cheney's party is gone. Dick Cheney's party is gone. So long, Dick. Bye-bye. Don't let the door hit you in the you-know-what on the way out. Because Liz and Dick and the rest of them, the Bushes are done with. The Bushes, in 2020, the Bushes openly admitted they were not supporting Donald Trump for president. That is blasphemy. You can, they always say, this is the great thing that the Democrats always like to say, whenever they're talking about January 6th, whenever they're talking about the 2020 election, everything they always say the same thing. They say, you can't just be for democracy when you win. You can't just be for the constitutional, change of powers or the peaceful transfer of powers when you win. You have to also do it when you lose. But look at the Bushes. They were like, we lost. We don't like Donald Trump. We're going to go with, look at Liz Cheney. She's like, we lost. We're mad. We're going to the other team. This is exactly what they do. If you truly believe that, then guess what? Your party is gone. You lost. We are moving boldly toward the future. We have bold ideas. We have great ideas. We have throwback traditional American ideals and values like freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom to peaceably assemble. We don't like paying taxes, which, fun fact, neither did the founding fathers, which is why we have this country in the first place. If people liked taxes and wanted more taxes, we'd still be British. We'd be drinking tea crumpets right now, but we're not. 4:53. I guess the tea's at 4. Technically, high tea's at 4. So maybe some of us would still be sipping our last little bits of Earl Grey while dolloping back a little bit of blueberry scone. Maybe some of the slower people, but that's what we'd be doing. We are not those people. We don't like taxes. We don't like the government involved in our lives. We don't like people telling us what to do. We don't like regulation. And we are not going to stand for it anymore. And Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and Barack Obama and Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger and the Lincoln, all the rest of them are going to go take a hike come November the 5th. And they're never coming back, by the way, because we don't just have Donald Trump. We have Donald Trump Jr. We have Eric Trump. We have Lara Trump. We have Barron Trump. We've got so many Trumps. And then we've got Vivek, who's like Indian Trump. And then we've got, Matt Gaetz, who's like big hair Florida man Trump. And then we've got J.D. Vance, who's hillbilly Trump. We've got all kinds of Trumps. It's like Barbie. You know how they had like astronaut Barbie and CEO Barbie and nurse Barbie? The same thing. We got all these little Trumps running around. Marjorie Taylor Greene is, soccer mom Barbie. Lauren Boebert is, I was going to say bar girl, pole dancer Barbie. I don't know what she is, but she's Trump. Those are all the things. Those are all the things those are all the Trumps that we have. And oh, look, I'll put my hat back on so that I can become. We've got me, loudmouth Yelly Trump. So there you go. All right. So that's where we are today. And now we've got Donald Trump coming out here in just a minute, back in Butler, Pennsylvania. And again, this rally, if you're just joining us, which by the way, thank you so much. Do me a solid. Because the reason that we come on here on the weekends now, the reason that we're here is it's twofold. Because the first thing we want to do is, of course, we want to bring you the information that you need. We want to be here to comment on these rallies and the news and everything else that's going on. But we also want to take every opportunity that we can to grow this particular community of Catriots. We want to grow this channel. We want to grow our message. We want to grow our audience. Because we feel, and by we, I mean me, I still feel like there's 3 people in the room. I really, what's so funny? This is a side note, and then I'll get back on track. When I worked with other people, I always tried to be conscious to let everybody feel included, right? Like everybody made contributions. Those other people I worked with, they all made contributions. I couldn't have done the show without them. It was great. And I always would say we. because I didn't want to go on the air and be like, I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I think this. So I would always say we, because I wanted everyone to know that they had a stake in our success. But now they're all gone and I'm here by myself. So it's going to take me a minute. It's going to take me a minute to get back to saying I. People always say, who's the we you're talking about? I'm like, really? It's me and my multiple personalities. So I, have a lot of good things that I'd like to say and share with you that I believe are true of this country and that I believe every American would hold dear. And I want to grow that to as many people because I think we are all like-minded. So anyway, that's a long way of saying, please share this stream wherever you are. If you're watching on Facebook, Facebook is not a friend of people like me, even though they claim to be. We at one time had 17,000 people watching on our Facebook every day, and little by little, bit by bit, every single day that got whittled away. When I had to take a hiatus, we almost destroyed our entire reach, and it's being throttled still to this day. And it's a daily fight. I go in and I fight with them every day. I talk to them. I send emails. I try to get people on the phone. I try to bring attention to the fact, my whole new book, by the way, is all about that. Cancel proof. Let me get rid of this here. markkay.com/cancel. This whole book talks about some of the problems we've had with Facebook, some of the problems we've had with other networks, some of the problems we've had getting canceled, and how we've been able to bounce back. There I say we again. Me. I did it. And that's our new book. So if you'd like a copy, go get it. But it's still happening. And so if you're on Facebook, one of the ways you can help us right now is to hit share. And share this live stream on your feed. That would be fantastic. If you are on Rumble, man, Rumble is just one of my favorite places to be. Rumble is, you want to talk about a group of like-minded American patriots. You want to talk about Patriot Central, Patriot HQ, not just the folks that watch us on Rumble, but the other broadcasters on Rumble, and most importantly, the management and the team behind Rumble. They reach out every single day. If I have a problem at Rumble, I can get somebody immediately. Pardon me, I can text them, I can call them, I can get somebody on the phone, and they're ready, willing, and able to fix it because they understand the value of all people's opinions. And the audience there is just so fantastic. And we shout out to all of our Rumblers. Also, since they're not mainstream social media, since they're the alternative, they don't allow us to integrate like we can with, like we can with all these other, like for example, I can post Michael Gagliardo saying knucklehead on YouTube, and I can post somebody else here from Facebook. I can post Justin McCartney saying Mark Kaye spelled incorrectly 24. I appreciate that, Justin. But we can't do that with Rumble because they don't play nice, which I'm all about. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I'm all about that. And then, of course, you've got X where we are as well. If you're on X, please share this. Please like it. And we'll post this as a podcast as well. And podcasts are great. They are the new radio, in my humble opinion. And I'm not just saying that because I got fired from the radio and now I do a podcast. My eyes have been opened to the benefits of podcasting over any other platform. Audio, number one, has always been a great platform because more people can consume audio than video, meaning you can consume audio in your car. I mean, I guess technically you could consume video, but you're not supposed to. You're supposed to have your eyes forward. You can consume audio when you're riding a bike or on the treadmill or doing Pilates or whatever else you do in the privacy of your own home. You can be multitasking. A lot of people listen at work. They put in their earbuds or their earpods or whatever, and they're listening to this show, and we appreciate all of that. So the podcast is also great too. Make sure you download it and share with everybody that you can. Anyway, so we're gonna keep fighting. Oh, look, see, here's exactly what I was talking about. Never got the notification. That's another thing I got to put on the list of problems that we have. But anyway, this Butler, Pennsylvania rally, this is an important rally for a couple reasons. Because number one, this shows America how resilient politicians should be. Oh, you guys want to see something funny? I showed you these clips of the crowd. I don't need to show you the clips. You can see the crowd right there. Look at this. This is footage somebody took of the Secret Service. Look. They're on the sloped roof. They finally figured it out. The Secret Service, they finally went through their sloped roof protection training, and they were able to set up shop on the sloped roof there. So the sloped roof no longer a problem. After the first time at Butler, Pennsylvania, after all the sloped roof stuff, they probably were like, okay, we got to rush everybody through sloped roof training. We got to rush everybody through sloped roof training because if we don't, because there's going to be another Butler rally. Donald Trump said, I'll be back. And again, that's exactly the American spirit. That's exactly what you want in a leader. You want somebody who goes out and says, here's what I'm going to do. And if somebody tries to stop them, they get up and they say, you can't stop me. I'm going to do it again. And look at this rally, man. Who knew Butler, Pennsylvania would become the flashpoint for an American political movement like this? Who knew that Butler, Pennsylvania would become, I mean, really just the hub of, this is the biggest rally I've ever seen in Donald Trump history. And like I said, I've been going to rallies since 2015. My very first rally was here in Jacksonville. Since then, I've been to dozens of rallies in at least half a dozen states. I've been to conventions. I've been all over. I've been following the Donald Trump campaign. I've watched hundreds more on Newsmax. Newsmax would all show every single rally. One of the few networks that did. They'd preempt my Saturday show for it, but I didn't care. It was more important. I always, and I guess there were some people out there that would get mad. I go, no, Donald Trump's a bigger name. Now, if you preempted me for someone else, I'd be furious. But you preempted me for a Donald Trump rally. That's important. And now you look at this, and Butler, Pennsylvania has the largest crowd of people assembled. And yes, a lot of them are from Butler, Pennsylvania. A lot of them are from Pennsylvania and the surrounding areas, but a lot of them have come from all over. A lot of them have come from all the different states. A lot of them have come from all over the country. Probably people have come from other countries. I know that there's people out there from Florida. I know for a fact 2 people that are at least there from Florida. I would imagine a lot more. I know that there's people there probably from all the swing states. I mean, you can't get a crowd of people like that without some kind of national. It's really incredible. And when you look at all of the people there, when you look at J.D. Vance showing up, when you look at all the other speakers they had, I know that every member of the Trump family is there. I know Eric's there. I know Laura's there. I know everyone's there. These are the kinds of people. These are the kinds of things that are going to just. These are going to trip up the Democrats so badly. I mean, Kamala Harris, you think she can't speak now? Wait till she sees this.
Remember his number, 32. Today we got 32 days until the election. So 32 days.
So 32 days. What are we going to? She's like, I got 32 seconds to kill here because somebody messed up. Somebody messed up my teleprompter. Anyway, so we've got Donald Trump coming out here. Probably, I would give it like another 10 minutes or so. I would say before that, I would say another 10 minutes or so. Did Elon speak yet? Oh, that's a good question. Hash Mama, cool name. Hash Mama next. Did Elon speak yet? I have not seen Elon speak yet. I imagine Elon Musk will come out right before Donald Trump. He may be the introduction. J.D. Vance is a great, he's the second in command, whatever. But typically when they have somebody of Elon's caliber, they might have Elon Musk come out and introduce Donald Trump, or they might do what they did with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and have Donald Trump introduce Elon Musk. Because again, a couple things about Elon Musk. He too he has that stoppage of speech whenever he's thinking. And he's a brilliant guy and he says amazing things, but it's not as fluid as somebody like Donald Trump who could just go on for hours and hours and hours. But he might come out and do a speech beforehand, or Donald Trump might come out and have him speak during his speech. We're not really sure which. If I were to guess, I would guess that they're going to do it the way they did Robert F. Kennedy. And if it were me, I would play the Foo Fighters again because the Foo Fighters hated that. If it were me, I would say, we've got to play Hero again because the Foo Fighters are going to be all up in arms, just like they were with RFK. But yeah, that's what I would imagine. That's what I would imagine, that Elon Musk will come out sometime during. But the fact that Elon Musk is even there, I mean, again, credit to, this is not Orlando, Florida. This is not Pittsburgh or Philadelphia. This is not New York. This is not anywhere it's not Dallas. This is Elon Musk making his way on his own dime to Butler, Pennsylvania. Oh, just as I said this, there's a Cybertruck driving outside my house. That's so funny. But there's Elon. I thought it was Elon. I was like, oh my God, Elon Musk is here. There's Elon Musk is making his way to Butler, Pennsylvania to do what he knows he needs to do, to speak on behalf of Donald Trump, to support Donald Trump's quest to become president. Because if Donald Trump doesn't become president, then Elon Musk's entire venture is gone. Elon Musk can no longer go on Twitter and poop post because the Democrats are going to shut him down. That is exactly what's going to happen. So that's where we are. That's where we are at this moment. All the other people that have joined. I mean, look, and when you look at the people who have joined, they always talk about the Republicans that crossed the aisle and they joined the Democrats. And I think Don Jr. said it best. He goes, "You can have them. Look at who you have. You have Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney. Take them. We're done with them. We didn't really like him anyway." No, Dick Cheney, and this is the funniest thing ever. Dick Cheney was hated by the Democrat Party, hated by Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, hated Dick Cheney. They knew that Dick Cheney was running things. They knew Dick Cheney was a war hawk. They knew Dick Cheney was making tens of millions of dollars off of the war efforts in Iraq and Afghanistan and everywhere else. And the only thing that angers Democrats more than that, the reason Democrats are so angry by that is they're not angry that he's making money off of American wars. They're mad that he's taking money out of their pockets because they want to make money off of American wars. So Dick Cheney was evil. He was a villain. Time magazine would write articles about how horrible this guy was. They would paint George W. Bush as this dopey, "Hey, I'm a dopey cowboy from Texas. What's up, everybody?" Go out back and watch some Saturday Night Live sketches. All you have to do is watch the Saturday Night Live sketches, and they would literally make George W. Bush into a clown, and Dick Cheney would be like Dracula. He'd come in, and the lights would get dark, and he'd be like, he'd be the man behind the curtain, pulling all the strings, making all the money with all of the power. They hated him. And now, all of a sudden, Dick Cheney's like, "I'm not voting for Trump." And the Democrats are like, "Yeah, come on. Bring it in, Dick. That's the group hug. I'm going to wrap my arms around Dick and squeeze as hard as I can because I love that guy." It's the weirdest thing ever. We're all supposed to believe it. The Bushes, too. They hated George W. Bush. They hated George W. Bush. They thought he stole the election. Fun fact, Donald Trump wasn't the first Republican president they accused of stealing the election. I'm sure they did it I'm sure Lincoln got accused of stealing the election, but it was George W. Bush in 2000 who the Supreme Court, mostly Republican, ordered the counting in Florida to stop after weeks and weeks of lawsuits. And after the weeks and weeks of lawsuits, guess what? When the Supreme Court stopped counting, George W. Bush won Florida by like 532 votes, I think it was. 530, something like that. 532 votes decided the presidency that year. And the Democrats lost it. They didn't want to certify the results of that election. All this talk about J.D. Vance said he wouldn't certify the results of the election. They wanted to hang Mike Pence. Oh my God, this is horrible. The Democrats did the same thing in 2000. I was living on a billboard on the time. It was some kind of weird. It was like a whole thing. And I was living on a billboard and I was waiting for the results to come in, and finally they did. And wouldn't you know it, it was George W. Bush, and the Democrats couldn't believe it. They were so mad. And instead of blaming themselves, instead of blaming Bill Clinton and his libido, they blamed George W. Bush and the Supreme Court. And they hated that guy. Now, all of a sudden, George W. Bush doesn't like Donald Trump. He likes Kamala Harris, and they love Bush. They love Bush. They love Dick. They just love everything over there. I could make a transgender joke, but I'm gonna be a bigger person than that. I'm gonna be for a change. I'm going to be a bigger person than that. So it's odd. Now, on the flip side of that, look at the Republicans. Look at who the Republicans have been able to steal from the other side of the aisle. A much more admirable and respectable crop of politicians. Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard, who was a Democrat from Hawaii, a very blue state. Tulsi Gabbard, who was the only Democrat to not vote to impeach Donald Trump the first time. What's her name? Tulsi Gabbard, who ran for president, tore into Kamala Harris, stood up on stage and said, "Look, this lady should not be president because she's a liar, she's a cheat, she's awful, and she's a fake and a phony." And Tulsi Gabbard knocked Kamala Harris out of the presidential race, number one. First one out. There were like 482 people running. Kamala Harris was the first to pack up her stuff and leave. She didn't have any money. Her staff kept leaving, and Tulsi Gabbard was being mean to her. So she decided to go. And then Tulsi Gabbard said, "You know what? I can't stand this party. I can't stand with these people. These people are just insane. They're lunatics. They've got Trump derangement system. They believe in all this weird stuff that I just know isn't true. They have no common sense. There's no way I'm sticking around for this. I'm leaving. I'm out of here. And she flipped. She became an independent. And now she's touring with Donald Trump and campaigning for Donald Trump and saying Donald Trump is the only person who can save the republic. Why? Because she's much more of a libertarian than she ever was a Democrat. And now we've got a Kennedy on board. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. The Kennedys were the Democrat Party. Just so you know, the Kennedys were the Democrat Party. If you thought Democrat, it was Kennedy. They should have called it Kennedy-crat. Kennedy-crats were, I mean, that was all there was. You had John F. Kennedy, you had Bobby Kennedy, you had Teddy Kennedy. They just became political powerhouses and machines. Even their dad was Joe Kennedy. He was the one, I mean, he was really the one with all the money that started getting everyone involved in politics. But they were the Democrat Party. They were the shining star. And now Robert F. Kennedy Jr., son of Robert F. Kennedy, beloved senator, an assassination victim. That guy is not just siding with Donald Trump, but is campaigning with Donald Trump and is probably going to end up somewhere in the administration doing something really valuable and exciting when Donald Trump comes back to power. A Kennedy. We get much higher quality Democrats than they get Republicans. All the trash Republicans end up. There's a guy named Michael Steele. Michael Steele was a congressman. Oh, I'm sorry. He ran for Congress in Maryland. I voted for him. And when I lived up there, and Michael Steele lost. So then he became head of the RNC before Reince Priebus. And he was there in 2016. He was there in Cleveland, Ohio. Donald Trump won. And somewhere along the line, somewhere around 2020, Michael Steele decided he wanted to join in with Joy Reid, of all people. He didn't just want to become a Democrat. He wanted to become like the most obnoxious, the angriest. He was there for the whole poop toilet is full conversation. And Michael Steele, the other, and now he fills in. Think about that. He could have been a rising star in the Republican Party, but he decided to become a fill-in host for Joy Reid. What do you want to do? Michael Steele, do you want to stay in the Republican Party and boost your clout and your political standing, and maybe one day you could have a cabinet position or be a congressman again or maybe a senator? You'd be a reputable black Republican? He goes, no, you know what? I think I'm going to be sloppy seconds for Joy Reid on MSNBC. Wow. There's a choice for you. So they have all the trash Republicans are now Democrats. And all the really good, high quality Democrats are now Republicans. We won. We won in the trade. It's like, they say bad trades and good trades in sports. We got the best trade ever. The Democrats got Deshaun Watson. The Democrats are the Cleveland Browns. And if you know anything about football, you'll know this. The Democrats are the Cleveland Browns. They spent $250 million and 4 first-round draft picks on a guy who loses. That's who they are. We got Tulsi Gabbard. We got Elon Musk. We got Bobby Kennedy. We win. We win. And that means that the future is very, very, very bright. Let's see what we got here going on. We'll pull some more clips up here while we wait for Donald Trump. I love Mark Kaye. Oh, thank you. Makes 2 of us. I appreciate that. We've got, let's see, here we go. So my bonus son's mother put up a post throwing a fit about Trump going to North Carolina. All I responded was they need help. Who cares who it is? She lost her flipping mind. I loved it. The bonus son's mother. That's great. That's great. Faith B904, bells. Oh, was that to remind people to hit the notification button? I appreciate that, Faith B904. Yes, please hit the notification button, hit the bell, let everybody know, or let YouTube know and Rumble know and Facebook know that you want this stuff. When we go live, whether it's noon to 3 or, I'm sorry, noon to 3, where am I living? Noon to 1 or noon to 2 or whatever it is, noon on the weekdays or special events like this on the weekends. Whenever we go live, let these platforms know, yes, I want you to tell me because I want to be there. I don't want to miss a minute of Mark Kaye saves the Republic. Oh, John Paxson is mad. Guys, you had Baker Mayfield, but you threw that guy away, and now look who's killing it in Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield. Look, this is not football talk. And also, I can't talk because I'm at Jaguars. I'm in Jacksonville, where there's Jaguars, and I can't even get to that. What's your Zoom link? What's my Zoom? That's a personal question. That's a personal question. I just keep watching on YouTube because, we do the Zoom for Aces. Is that what you're thinking about? Yes, if you're a member of our American Conservative Empowerment Society, then you get access to our Friday Zoom call, our Q&K call. And I'll tell you what, we made it really easy. This is something that I don't really tell people, but I'm going to tell you guys because you're here. If you get your copy of Cancel Proof, and lots of people have done this already, you go to markkaye.com/cancel. You order Cancel Proof, you get the book and you get the audiobook. It's really incredible. You get the book, My Proven Social Media Strategy for Conservatives to Thrive Online, and you get the audiobook. Because again, remember what I told you about people who like to listen to stuff. Some people don't like to read. Some people would rather listen, or they want to put it in their earbuds or whatever. So I'll give you both. You get, for $24, you get the book, you get the audiobook. And then, this is really cool, immediately after your purchase, there's a special one-time offer to join ACES for $7. $7. This ACES, just so you know, when I created the American Conservative Empowerment Society, that's what it stands for. The American Conservative Empowerment Society. And it's a group, it's an online group of conservatives who empower each other. That's really, I mean, that's what it is. These are business people. These are entrepreneurs. These are social media influencers. These are just regular folk. These are people who have been trying their best to build businesses and work hard and just live and thrive as proud, loud, outgoing conservatives and Christians. And they've been thwarted and they've been throttled by social media outlets and YouTube and Facebook and the rest of them. They can't figure it out, or they just need help. They need help getting from where they are to where they want to be. And they look at me and they say, Mark, you've done it. How do I do it? Well, this is a place where we all get together, and there's several different aspects of it. There's the community, where it's much like a Facebook group, only way better. It's run by people who aren't, socialists and won't censor you for things that you say and do. And so what you do is you can go in there on the community 24 hours a day. You can interact with people. You can talk to people. You can get your questions answered. I'm in there 24 hours a day. Sometimes it'll be like Sunday morning and I just start chit-chatting with people. It's amazing. Then there's the weekly Q&K call on Friday, where you actually get to ask me a question about anything. If you want to know how I make these cool, screens with all the stuff. Oh, wait, where's the one? There it is. If you want to know how I do these graphics, if you want to know how I set up my websites or create my products, if you want to know how I send emails like every single day, several times, which some people complain about, then we talk about all of that in our ACES community. Plus, then, of course, you've got all these great programs that you can take advantage of. Now, it's $99 a month. So what we've done is, once you buy Cancel Proof, we offer you a 7-day trial for $7. It's $1 a day, which is, again, that's like, it's insane. I should probably stop doing that. But I love meeting new people. And once you get in there, I know you're going to want to stay. So Cancel Proof is the book. markkaye.com/cancel is where you go. markkaye.com/cancel. If you want to open up a new browser and go there right now, you can get the book. You can have it. And after the rally, you can go and enjoy it. If you want to, you can join ACES. And like I said, on Friday, we're going to do another Q&K call. Oh, look. Richard. Welcome, Richard. Don't forget to take us up on that special VIP offer for your 7-day free trial of ACES. Richard Paulson has now just downloaded Cancel Proof. I do hope you enjoy that. I do hope you enjoy it a lot. Here it is, by the way. I printed my copy out so you can see it. And I like to reference it and I like to read it. And it's one of my favorites. This is one of my favorite books because, it's not just, it's a lot of stories. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of jokes. It's a lot of anecdotes. It's a lot of, here's something that I wanted to tell you about. Here's something that you'll find funny, but it's also concrete information and real life examples from my world of being a conservative online. And I'll tell you what, man, being a conservative online is difficult. It is difficult. It is tough. And it is something that requires a lot of backbone, a lot of energy. There have been times when I've tried to post something online or put a video online or sell something online or just have a conversation online, and it's been censored, deleted, shadow banned, throttled, canceled, demonetized, you name it. I even got kicked off of the radio for being too conservative. True story. And now I'm still here. And it's because I figured out ways to work around it. It's because I figured out ways to create and sustain my business. Oh, look. Oh, this is great. You guys are... Now, there's something else that we want you to do, but I'll tell you guys that secretly. Jennifer Zuber, congratulations. Don't forget to take advantage of the VIP offer. 7 days of ACES for just $7. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. All right, it's 5:20. Donald Trump or somebody probably should be coming out here in just a little while. If you, we'll pull a couple of Well, Potato's spamming the chat. Potato, please don't start spamming the chat. I mean, unless you want to, here's the thing. If you want to spam the chat, spam the super chat. Okay. Again, we're all independent now. So we are going to be looking for opportunities to get support from people so we can continue to broadcast every single day so that we can make it worth your while, so that we continue to build up our entire effort here. We have some great things that we're planning. Oh, by the way, fun fact, Election Day, if you're in the Jacksonville, Florida area, we are going to have an election night watch party. That's right, election night watch party. Not here at my house. It's not gonna be here at my house. It's not gonna be here at in my special Patriot HQ. It's gonna be at a huge establishment, which I will tell you about later on. We're still making some final determinations on that. But we're going to start at 7 p.m. and we're gonna have the election returns on live, and we're gonna have a live we're gonna be broadcasting live. So if you're not in the Jacksonville area, if you're not in Florida, if you can't make it, that's okay. That's okay. What you need to do is you need to make sure that you're somewhere where you can watch us live. And we're going to have VIP tables. We'll have some interviews. We'll have people coming up. We're going to have special guests. It's going to be awesome. And we're going to go hopefully like 11 or midnight. Odds are we're not going to know that night who the winner is, or maybe we will. Maybe we will. What night of the week is it? It's a Tuesday. Sawson, it's going to be a Tuesday. Tuesday, November the 5th is Election Day. So the election night watch party will be the evening of Election Day, which again is a Tuesday. November the 5th in Jacksonville, Florida. Now we're going to have, like I said, we're going to have a couple of tiers. Oh, here comes somebody. It's Elon. Is that Elon? No, who is that? Hang on. I got to pull up the audio. That's not Elon. That's what's his name.
With a purple heart and a couple scars.
That is, wait a minute. I know who that is. Wait, where am I going? What happened to my thing? Why do I have all these things? Hold on, I got to fix this. What happened to the audio? What happened to my audio?
Proud supporter of President Trump. When he is elected president, he will deliver the greatest economic boom to America than we've ever seen. We'll see growth. In our energy sector, we become a manufacturing powerhouse. We'll see growth in real wages, which will benefit all Americans. It's great to see so many people here. Thank you. God bless.
That was weird. That's all he had to say? That was like the shortest speech ever.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage American investor and founder of the Witkoff Group, Mr. Steve Witkoff.
Oh, it's not Elon. It's Steve Witkoff. What keeps happening to my sound? Is that them doing that? That's them doing that. I don't know why they keep messing with the sound, and it makes me think that I'm messing something up. Wait a minute. But there's no sound. What are they doing to the sound?
I have some prepared remarks, but I would like to extend my blessings to the Dutch and Copenhagen family, and also to the Corey Compatore family. My heart is with you. This is a beautiful, beautiful town. I was marveling at the beauty. Patriots of Butler, Pennsylvania, it is my honor and my blessing to stand before you today. I'm not just here as a speaker, but I am a dear friend of the president and someone who has had the privilege of knowing President Trump personally witnessing his strength and commitment to our nation. You know President Trump as a man who never backs down. I've been at his side through some of the toughest moments, and I can tell you, he embodies the leadership we need in these times for our nation. I was 10 feet away from him during the second assassination attempt. Amidst the chaos, President Trump stood tall. He didn't flinch or complain, not one bit. He chose strength, not for himself, but for us, for me that day, his friends, his staff, and for every American who believes in this country. That's who Donald Trump, my dear friend, is. He's a fighter, the toughest fighter I know, who refuses to be broken or beaten. He faces adversity head on and says, "Bring it on." At the Republican National Convention where I spoke, I shared a side of the president many do not have the luxury of seeing: his empathy. While the media paints him as tough, they don't show how deeply he cares. He feels the burden of every challenge this country faces and understands the struggles of everyday Americans. I'll never forget when he reached out to me after I lost my son, Andrew. He wasn't just the president. He was a friend, offering comfort and ensuring we weren't alone. That's the kind of leader he is, the kind we need more than now than ever, the kind who came here today even though he lost his own life on this very stage, but he was not going to be deterred. Today we stand at a pivotal moment. In the wake of the Iranian attack, our nation stands at a crossroads. The world watches to see who will step up to lead us. We need a leader who understands the gravity of this moment, who embodies strength in action, not just in words. President Donald Trump is that leader. My friend has stood up to tyrants and bullies, making tough decisions and always putting this country first, even when it wasn't an easy choice. That's why we need him more now than ever. This isn't about politics. It is about the soul of our country. It is about choosing strength over weakness, vision over indecision, and leadership over chaos. We are living in a time that demands greatness. As Abraham Lincoln once said, you cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. President Trump understands that. He is the most consequential president in the history of this country. He knows that leading this nation is about taking responsibility for our future, ensuring our children and grandchildren inherit a country that is safe, prosperous, and free. Behind the headlines and the political battles is a man who wants to see America thrive. He believes in every fiber of his being that this country is still the greatest nation on earth and that her best days are yet to come. So as we face this pivotal moment in history, ask yourselves, who do you want leading this country when the enemies of freedom threaten our way of life? Do you want someone who bows to pressure because this man doesn't? Or someone who stands up, fights back, and says, no matter what you throw at me, I will not break. I will not waver. I will not back down. That is Donald J. Trump. He has the courage to face today's challenges and the vision to build a brighter tomorrow. The pathway to peace, prosperity, and strength isn't found in weakness or hesitation. It's found in unwavering resolve. It's found in a leader who refuses to let America be pushed around or let our enemies dictate our future. So, Butler, Pennsylvania, this beautiful town, I ask you to stand with me. Stand with President Trump and stand for the future of this incredible country. Together, we will overcome every obstacle and make sure America's best days are still ahead. Thank you. God bless you all. God bless President Trump and his family, and God bless the United States of America.
So by the way, that was a very good speech. What's his name, who was golfing with Donald Trump when the second assassination, Wyckoff, Winkoff, one of those. And anyway, a great speech. I've heard him speak before. I remember him at the convention, and they have been very tight for a very long time, him and President Trump. Also, thank you, Kaye, for the $4.99 super chat. I don't know why that's all skashad, but we do have confirmation that yes, it is a copyright issue. Everybody has issues with the music copyright, and so everybody's getting the silence while the music plays, which is fine because it makes it easier on my end. But that is definitely a thing. For those of you that don't know, for those of you that don't run your own YouTube channels or your own Facebook channels, it's definitely a thing. Oh, look, here they come. America's power couple, Eric and Laura Trump, friend of Mark Kaye Saves the Republic, and her husband. Look at that. I like the green, man. The green green is like the new thing. I notice a lot of people are wearing green these days. But Eric Trump is the president of the Trump Corporation. Laura Trump is the co-chair of the Republican National Committee. And she did a great thing. We talked about it yesterday with Scott Presser. He noticed that the Pennsylvania website was going to do scheduled maintenance for the voter registration website, where they were going to be down for scheduled maintenance. Isn't that funny? Right during the Donald Trump speech in Butler, Pennsylvania. And she made a phone call after Scott Presser told her about it, and they decided to put it back till a later time. Here we go. By the way, fun fact, they're both really tall. She's like 2 inches taller than I am, and he's taller than she is. The Trumps are very tall people. I don't know what's in the water up there in Trump Tower, but they grow them big.
Pennsylvania, I've never been more proud to be anywhere in my life than I am today here with you on this stage. This is a big family. They tried to take away someone we all love, and they did take away someone we love in Corey, an incredible man. His family's backstage. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. They've tried to get my father every single second since he went down that golden escalator. Laura and I have witnessed it every single day. They tried to smear us. They tried to bankrupt us. They came after us. They impeached him twice. They went after his Supreme Court justices. They weaponized the entire legal system. The Russia hoax, the dirty dossiers. You remember every single one of them. Far left AGs, far left DAs in every far left place in this country went after my father. They tried to pull him off the ballot in Colorado. They tried to pull him off the ballot in Maine. And it has not worked. And then, guys, they tried to kill him. They tried to kill him. And it's because the Democratic Party, they can't do anything right. They can't do anything right. You see it this week in the FEMA response in North Carolina, and in Georgia, and in South Carolina, and in Florida. You have people's houses floating down rivers. And what does Kamala do? She comes out and says, yes, I'd like to give that family $750. We send $200 billion over to Ukraine so beautiful young kids can shoot at each other in trenches. $200 billion. We give hundreds of billions of dollars to Pakistan. They wouldn't tell us that bin Laden was literally a mile away from their equivalent of West Point. We send hundreds of billions of dollars to them. We gave $150 billion to Iran, a country that chants death to America. And Kamala Harris comes out and says, we're going to give $750 to the person who lost their house in a mudslide. Guys, this isn't America first. This is America last. But the good news, help is on the way. And help is on the way from the bravest person I have ever met in my entire life. My father's been the greatest father a person could ever have. He's been an inspiration to this entire country. And he was an inspiration here in Butler when he stood up with blood running down his face and said, fight, fight, fight. I love all of you so much. I really mean it. This is a family. This isn't politics, guys. Guys, this isn't politics. This isn't politics. This is a movement of absolute love of hundreds of millions of people who want to save the United States, who want to keep our country number one at absolutely everything we do. And that's why we're going to re-elect Donald Trump as the 47th president of the United States. Guys, we love you. And to a woman that is doing a truly great job in every aspect of life, from being a great wife to an unbelievable mother. By the way, I think Caroline and Luke Trump are the most popular Trumps right now. Did you guys see them a couple weeks ago? Vote for Grandpa. Make America great again. But she's doing a hell of a job as the RNC co-chair. You know, I get to go to bed every single night and wake up every single morning listening about voter integrity. It's really great. I'm really, really excited for November 6th when Laura can turn over in the morning and not talk about voter integrity. But she's doing a hell of a job. Ladies and gentlemen, Laura Trump.
All right, Pennsylvania.
Yay, voter integrity.
Is anybody here ready to send Donald J. Trump back to the White House? Well, we're 31 days away. 1 month from right now, as Donald Trump always says, will be the most important day in the history of America, because this is a pivotal moment for our country. And I don't even have to tell anybody that here. We can all feel it. This is no longer a fight between Republican versus Democrat, left versus right. It is good versus evil. And good is going to win this battle, ladies and gentlemen. And if you had any question whether God exists and he performs miracles, we got our answer here on July 13th, right here in Butler, Pennsylvania. He spared Donald Trump's life because he was not finished with Donald Trump. And he did it not once, but twice. And I've said it time and time again, but now you feel it more than ever. Donald Trump was made for such a time as this. It's such an honor to be back here in Butler. And you know, I knew before Donald Trump even said he wanted to come back here that he would come back to Butler, Pennsylvania, because in life, you can operate with fear and cowardice, or you can operate with strength and faith. And that's what Donald Trump operates with, strength and faith. And that's the kind of leader we need to see back at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. We need strength in this country. And Eric's right. I've been doing a little something with making sure that we have free, fair, and transparent elections, and that only legal citizens are voting in our elections here in the United States of America. That's okay. It's been the #1 focus of the RNC since I took over alongside our chairman, Michael Whatley, back in March. We have had a big goal of recruiting 100,000 people to volunteer as poll watchers, poll workers, legal experts on the ground. And we said, I don't know, 100,000 is a lot. I'm happy to report that we have trained 200,000 people across this country to do that. So our message is very clear. If you are a person who is considering cheating in our elections, we will find you. We will track you down and we will prosecute you to the full extent of the law. And if you're an illegal citizen voting in our election, we'll track you down and prosecute you to the full extent of the law, and you're leaving this country. How's that sound? Don't do it. It's not worth it.
See ya. Wouldn't want to be.
But real quick, before I go, is everybody in this crowd registered to vote? Well, it could be that you've heard of someone who's been doing so much voter registration right here in Pennsylvania. His name is Scott Pressler.
Yay!
And he has done an incredible job. We have flipped Bucks County and Luzerne County from Democrat to Republican in terms of voter registration. And I would like to invite my friend, Scott Pressler, to come up and say a few words to you folks. If you would welcome him, please, to the stage right now.
Come on, Scott Pressler, get up there. Where is he?
And he wore shorts for us today, so check out his legs. Look at this. Yes!
I mean, I feel like he wears shorts a lot, but that's all right. There he is. Oh my, he's totally unprepared.
I wish I didn't wear shorts today. Mom and Dad, I honor you on the stage today, Captain Robert Pressler and my mom, Carol Pressler. Pennsylvania, you have the power to change the world. Pennsylvania wins the White House, and so please, I ask you today, please check your voter status, make sure you're an active voter registered at your current address, and please visit vote.pa.gov and register to vote today. A message to our union workers: we want your vote. We want to keep jobs here in America.
Woo.
To our beautiful Amish and Lancaster and across the state.
Yeah, Amish.
We will protect your raw milk, your dairy, your farming, your school choice, your religious freedom, your ability to afford to have 10 beautiful children per family.
Woo.
To our hunters, 30% of you are not registered to vote.
What's up with
Please,
that?
our hunters, support the Second Amendment, register to vote. To our truckers that service us every single day, please request a mail-in ballot or vote early, lock in those votes. To our sorority sisters and our fraternity brothers, please, you have the power. If you're going to school here in Pennsylvania, register to vote legally and lawfully here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I feel this from the top of my head to the tip of my toes, I love our great country. President Trump took a bullet for us. Please use your ballot and have his back on Tuesday, November 5th, and deliver Pennsylvania for Donald J. Trump. Thank you.
Wow. That was so good.
Thank you.
Oh, that was so good.
All right, before we go.
Yay, Scott Pressler.
What we're going to do here today, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to make a new memory in Butler, Pennsylvania. And this will mark the moment that this election was won for Donald J. Trump. Let's send him back to the White House on November 5th. We love you, Pennsylvania. Thank you. God bless.
Oh, kill the music. Oh, thank God. I was like, kill the music. Wow, that was so good. Holy cow. Scott Pressler was amazing. I don't know if he knew he was going to speak or not, but if he didn't know he was going to speak, he did a fantastic job off the cuff. That guy has been hustling, man. He's been out there. What he said, it's, you know, because we were in Pennsylvania a couple weeks ago, and we met with a couple of our Amish Patriots, and former Amish, I guess. They've been shunned. It's a story for another day. But I'll tell you what, man, it's true. The Amish vote there in Pennsylvania. They can vote. I mean, they're Pennsylvania voters. They're American citizens. They just happen to be Amish. And they need to vote for Donald Trump. They need to vote for somebody who's going to protect their ability to maintain their way of life, their ability to protect their religious freedom, their ability to support, like they just said, these massive families that the Amish have. Because it's everybody. Everybody suffers under these economic consequences. Everybody suffers under this inflation. Everybody suffers when you have really bad leadership like Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. And even the Amish know, hopefully they know, that this is the way to go in 2024 and into the future. And Pennsylvania, that's the unique thing about the state. It is so big and has so many different factions. There's the union workers, there's the Amish, there's all of the universities and the university students, there's the suburban soccer moms, there's the inner city workers, there's Latinos, there's all kinds of people in Pennsylvania. It's 13 million people. That's why it's so important. That's why it has so many electoral votes. And it is a real cross-section of America. You've got these massive urban centers, Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. You've got these vast farm, like Butler, Pennsylvania, and the farmlands and all the rural centers. So it is crazy. And Scott Pressler, again, God bless that guy. He moved to Pennsylvania. He used to just register people all over the place, but now he realized, hey, Pennsylvania is really important, and that's where we need the help. That's where we need to register people. So I'm just going to move there. And he moved to Pennsylvania, and he spends every day of his life registering people to vote. He spends every day of his life going out to state fairs and gun shows and other places. He spends every day of his life making sure that Pennsylvania will be delivered for Donald Trump on November 5th. And I'm glad he got to say a couple of words today, because if anyone deserved it, it's definitely Scott Pressler, who has done so much and worked so hard for this particular campaign. Was that the Secret Service guy? That's the guy coming out. Oh, here we go. That's the guy coming out and checking the area. He's making sure that Donald Trump's ready to go. He's making sure he's got everything ready. He's checking the podium one last time. He's checking the glass. And now I think this is probably going to be it. After Eric and Laura, you're going to bring out the big man. And I imagine Elon Musk will be introduced by Donald Trump sometime during his speech, a la the way they did with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. It should be that, and that's going to be a moment, man. You want to talk about, first of all, I haven't been on, I got to go on Twitter. I'm going to be tweeting live during the speech too, so you may not see as much of me, but look, last chance, right before Donald Trump comes out, please share this broadcast. Please like it. Make sure you've set the notifications. Make sure you're subscribed. Carrie Monroe, thank you again for the generous super chat. Please keep the generous super chats coming in. throughout the broadcast, because again, this is how we're able to do this kind of thing. This is how we're able to take a couple of hours on a Saturday and bring you all of this stuff and bring you all of this commentary and share with you the truth. And this is how we're able to go out there and do the live events and travel around and still support this message of putting America first and making America great again. And this is how we can create all the products and the books and the merch and everything else. So anything you can do. If you're enjoying watching this, by all means, we appreciate it. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you set the notifications, and make sure you share it as well. And then if you want to kick in, stars are great on Facebook. I see we're getting a lot of stars on Facebook and even Rumble. Look, we got some Rumble rants coming. We had some earlier. Maybe we'll get some more. Maybe we'll get some more during the speech. But we're sticking around through the whole speech. I'm going to be live tweeting. And when Donald Trump starts speaking and when Elon Musk starts speaking, I'll try to be quiet. I'll try. I can't guarantee. I never guarantee quietness. I never guarantee quietness. The microphones are like, oh, I can mute the microphone, but I can just as easily unmute it. And if there's something that I want to say or comment, or if I just get that feeling deep down inside my gut where I want to yell out amen or USA or lock her up or woo, or any, like if I become a woo girl all of a sudden, it doesn't matter. All that stuff might happen during Donald Trump's speech. So just be prepared for it. But it should be happening here any moment. And I'm curious too. This is going to be, since he's back at Butler, Pennsylvania, this is the first time I know of that a person who survived an assassination attempt has gone back to the very spot where they survived that assassination attempt and given a speech. That's as far as I know. Ronald Reagan survived an assassination attempt, but I don't think he ever went back to where was it? It was the spot on the street in front of some school or something. I don't think he ever went back there and gave a speech. Teddy Roosevelt actually gave a speech while he got shot, and his speech actually saved his life. This was after he was president. That happened in Milwaukee. And I don't think he went back there and gave another speech. So this is the first time, and that's what makes it truly monumental. That's what makes this truly exciting. And of course, there's not just the speech, and there's not just the outlook and the outline and the agenda that Donald Trump's going to build for the United States of America moving forward to get us back to the great country that we once were before Joe Biden destroyed it, before Kamala Harris sunk her teeth into it and just sucked all the life out of it, before those vampires turned us into like a zombie. We are basically a zombie country. And if you don't believe me, just walk around walk around San Francisco or Chicago or even parts of Philadelphia. The bad parts. It's really horrible. And we need to make sure that we need to get unzombified. And Donald Trump will do that. But we've got to make sure that we get him back there. But this is interesting because not only are you going to have all that stuff like you usually do at a Donald Trump rally, but there's going to be a huge part about Corey Compatore. There's going to be a huge part about the other people who were injured, the first responders, the people who jumped up. And of course, Donald Trump, whenever he tells the story, he told it for the first time at the RNC. And it's so funny because Donald Trump said, I'm going to tell this story one time and that's it. But he's told it like 20 times, and he came out of the RNC. He goes, this is the first time and the only time I'm going to tell this story. I've heard it like a lot, but it's a great story. And he's going to come out and he's going to talk about what happened that day. He's going to talk about the chart. And the most important thing about that was he's going to say, when the bullets were flying, when people started getting shot, when I got shot, when I went down, nobody left. Nobody left. Nobody there started racing for the exits. Nobody trampled anybody. Nobody shoved anybody out of the way. Nobody left. They got down. They got safe. They covered each other up. The dads covered up the kids and the moms. The husbands covered up the wives. Everybody just sheltered in place while the Secret Service took care of business and they took care of Donald Trump. And that is really, truly an amazing thing. I mean, that's really amazing. When you think about a crowd this large in an empty field with bullets flying, that's when you really see what these American patriots are like. That's when you really see what these Donald Trump supporters are like. That's when you can tell conservatives are a special breed of individual. Smart, street smart, caring, and unselfish. And so Donald Trump said, look, you guys stayed for me when you didn't know what was going to happen. So now I'm coming back to finish the job. And the job was to get up there and lay out the role of the president of the United States and the agenda for moving forward for the next 4 years to make America great again. Oh, this is going to be Corey. Let's listen to this. Here we go. Oh, wait, no, I can't hear it because I didn't mute it. They muted it. We can't hear it.
In the silence
here
of
it
our
is. There we
grief.
go. Maybe they muted it again. Are they going to unmute it or are they going to, what are we going to do? Here, we're going to watch it. I'll put on, here, I have music. Guys,
Lost.
oh.
When the cause seems to be unwinnable. When the night seems to never end and hope is on its knees. We rise. When will they learn this man cannot be stopped? This movement cannot be defeated. And even when they mock us, even when they slander us, even when they count us out of the fight, we will not stop.
We will not bend. We will not break. We will not yield. We will never give in. We will never give up. We will never back down. We will never, ever surrender. My fellow Americans, our movement is far from over. In fact, our fight has only just begun.
Loved it. Loved it. Let's see if they're probably going to play Proud to Be an American, but I imagine by Lee Greenwood, and I imagine that'll get blocked out as well. But, oh, somebody's coming. It's got to be Donald Trump. I imagine it's going to be Donald Trump making his way down.
Things were gone. I'd work for all.
My God, it's crazy. They're going nuts. They're going nuts. It's gonna be 10 minutes of this. Look at these guys. Look at the guy's got him on his shirt. Drill, baby, drill. Look at this. This is great.
Lee, thank you very much, really. And thank you, a very big thank you to Pennsylvania. We love Pennsylvania. And as I was saying,
okay, that's what he said. He said he was going to start right where he left off. As I was saying.
Oh, I love that. I love that chart. I love that graph.
That's great.
Isn't it a beautiful thing? But also beautiful because look at the number. That's the day I left office. It was the lowest Border Patrol, the lowest it's ever been. Illegal immigration. Today it's out of control. But I love it for other reasons, too. You know that. So thank you very much, and thank Lee and what Lee has done with that song, and it's such an honor to have it. I want to just let you know that tonight I returned to Butler in the aftermath of tragedy and heartache to deliver a simple message to the people of Pennsylvania and to the people of America. Our movement to make America great again stands stronger, prouder, more united, more determined, and nearer to victory than ever before. We're going to make America great again. Going to win the election. Going to win the election. And to all Americans, whether you are Republican, Democrat, Independent, Conservative, or Liberal, or you have no label whatsoever, it makes no difference. Our movement, it belongs to you. It belongs to our country. It belongs to our country. And together in just 1 month, we are going to usher in a new golden age of American security, prosperity, sovereignty, and freedom for our citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. Exactly 12 weeks ago this evening on this very ground, a cold-blooded assassin aimed to silence me and to silence the greatest movement, MAGA, in the history of our country. MAGA. We love MAGA. For 16 harrowing seconds during the gunfire, time stopped as this vicious monster unleashed pure evil from his sniper's perch, not so far away. But by the hand of providence and the grace of God, that villain did not succeed in his goal, did not come close. He did not stop our movement. He did not break out our spirit. He did not shake our unyielding resolve to save America from evils of poverty, hatred, and destruction. Yet we are here this evening in record numbers. This is a big crowd. This is a big one. This is a big one. Not only to mark the triumph of American spirit, but over, and you know that this is really, truly, in the truest sense, spirit over evil and adversity, but also to pay tribute to some of the best and bravest we have ever known. This field is now a monument to the valor of our first responders, to the resilience of our fellow citizens, and to the sacrifice of a loving and devoted father, a really great man. You know that. Forever afterward, forever after, all who have visited this hallowed place will remember what happened here, and they will know of the character and courage that so many incredible American patriots have showed and know, and they know it at a level never seen before, probably. First, I want to thank the men and women of the U.S. Secret Service who threw their bodies on top of mine without even a thought for their own lives. They were on top of me so fast. They were on top of me, and there was not even a moment of doubt in their minds. You watch those tapes, not even a moment of doubt. I want to thank Secret Service. They're great, great people. They are great people. And in that moment, those agents displayed a devotion to duty that cannot be described, and they did it yet again less than 3 weeks ago when they really did a fantastic job. Another attempt. It was another attempt. We have an evil world. We have a very sick world. My gratitude to them is beyond measure. We also owe a tremendous debt, thanks to the Secret Service counter sniper and a local police sniper who returned fire within seconds and stopped the shooter quickly and saved many lives. If he didn't stop, he saved many lives. He had a lot of bullets, a lot of ammunition up there with him. And we are, just amazing when you think they did it so quickly without any knowledge of what was going on, boom. And had that not happened, it would have been a very different story. It would have been potentially many people. I also want to express our thanks to the Butler Township Police Department, incredible people. The Butler Sheriff's deputies, Pennsylvania State Police, and all of the other law enforcement heroes, as well as the emergency personnel and doctors, the medical teams at Butler Memorial Hospital, Allegheny General Hospital, who rushed me and rushed some of these very badly wounded people. They were wounded, a lot of badly wounded people, and in particular two people, and I tell you, they were very brave and great people. They were big Trump fans, and they still are. That means something. That was pretty amazing. You know, when I got up, I asked whether or not anybody was killed. I assumed that there would be a lot because I heard the bullets winging right over my head. They said probably 3. The doctors did such an incredible job. It was one great gentleman, but the other 2 have been amazing, actually. They've gone through it. They've gone through a lot. And when the crisis struck, they did really Pennsylvania proud. You've heard that expression, Pennsylvania proud. It's a great place. I went to school. I went to college in Pennsylvania. It's a great place. The people are incredible. Also, and I have to say, after returning to the field tonight, is one of the really brave Americans who was hit by the assassin's bullet, U.S. Marine veteran David Dutch. David, thank you. Thank you, David. Thank you, David. And David, we're thrilled to see your recovery is going well. Great doctors up here, I have to tell you, great doctors. Your courage is really an inspiration to us all, so I want to thank you very much, David. A great gentleman, great gentleman. I want to send our love to someone who could not be here because he has just undergone a major surgery related to the shooting. A man who was really badly wounded, like David, James Copenhagen, because James was a wonderful man, a big Trump fan. And Mr. Copenhagen is out there watching us right now, but he's in a hospital where they did some additional work, but he's in great shape. He wanted to be here so badly, but he's in great shape, and we appreciate it, and we're looking to his full and complete recovery. He will have a complete recovery. Thank you. Thank you very much. And of course, there's one more hero who could not make it back here tonight because he is no longer with us, right? You know who that is, right? Corey, our beautiful Corey. Corey is not with us tonight, and he should be. And we all miss him. He's become somewhat of a folk hero, I have to tell you. Who is with us is his beautiful wife and daughters and relatives, sister. Please, where are you? Where are they sitting? There they are. There's a lot of people. It's not easy to find people in this audience. It goes back further than you can see. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Great family, a great, incredible family. And he loved you a lot. And, you know, his wife said something very beautiful. The public, a lot of people, all of us, a lot of people have been very generous. And she said, I'd rather have my husband. That's a good thing to say. That's a good thing to say. I'd rather have my husband. Corey Comparator was an incredible husband and father, a devout Christian, a veteran, and a proud former fire chief, very respected within the town. Everybody knew him. Few men volunteered to run into fires, but Corey was one of those who did. He ran into fires. I spoke to people that were with this guy would do anything. He was brave, right? Brave guy like you. And he was also a protector who put his life on the line for others, and he loved doing it. And when the sound of gunshots pierced the air on that July evening, Corey leapt into the fire one more time. In his last seconds of this earth, he threw himself on the top of his wife and daughters. He didn't want them hurt. He threw himself. He said he knew what was happening. He didn't want them hurt. And he was hit hard. He was hit hard. And he gave his life to shield their lives. Every father and husband in America hopes that if the time came, we would have what Corey had. Tremendous courage, tremendous guts, and he wanted to protect his family, and he did protect his family. At this time, it is 6/11, 12 weeks to the minute that the shooting began. I would like to ask everyone to join me in a moment of silence.
Wow. Holy cow. That was some opera, man. Woo.
Now that is what you call a voice. One of the greatest opera singers in the world, and Christopher Macchio, who's truly a great talent, is going to be back when I leave, and I'm going to stay backstage watching every song. He's going to sing 3 or 4 great songs, Nessa Dorma and others. And so I wouldn't leave your seat too fast when we're finished today, but this is in honor of 3 great people, actually, 3 great, and in particular, Corey. And we appreciate it, but that is a real voice, isn't it, huh? That's not... What do you think, Mr. Future Vice President? Pretty good, right? I don't know if you could do that, J.D. I don't know. I don't think J.D. can do that. In the face of murderous hate, Corey answered the most selfless kind of love. We are joined this evening by Corey's incredible widow, Helen, his 2 precious daughters, Kaye and Allison, and his sisters, Kelly and Dawn. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is an incredible tribute. This is a tribute like no other, and he deserves it. To Helen and the entire family, I can only begin to imagine the depths of your grief, but I want you to know that just like you, we will carry his memory in our hearts for as long as we live. Everybody in this stadium and everybody that was there on that tragic evening, we are thinking about Corey. We think about him a lot. I know he's looking down on us right now from heaven, smiling at his beloved wife and daughters and his mother, Karen, and his entire family. And he's with you, and he's going to be with us for a long time because, you know, some people just don't die in vain, and what he's left behind is incredible. And so God bless you, Corey. God bless you. Thank you very much. God bless you. You know, I just one little story. Helen told me that on the day that they came to the rally, Corey was really excited because somebody gave him great seats right up front here with the people from North Carolina, the ladies from North Carolina. This is their 227th rally. I don't know what's going on with them. Those beautiful ladies. But they always seem to have good seats, you know. But Corey had the best seat in the house, and he was telling his wife and family on the way over in the car, he said, I'm telling you, he's going to invite me up on the stage, because I do that sometimes. I take people, we invite them up on the stage. And she smiled, thinking it'll never happen. And little did anyone realize that Corey would be on the stage 3 months later in an almost immortal position. And that's where he is today. He's on the stage in I think it's a truly immortal position. So the love that he showed on that day and throughout his life is the love that sustains the entire movement, love that our families have, and it's love of our communities and love of our country. It's a force more powerful than any hatred and malice, because even in the darkest hours, it shines forth as a guide, and it guides us like nothing could ever guide us. It guides us really like a candle in the night. And so it's love like Corey's that is joining us to save our country, that's going to heal our country, and that is going to reunite our country as one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So what our opponents have never understood is that this movement has never been about me. It's always been about you. It's been about a lot of people, millions and millions of people, the biggest ever in the history of this country, maybe anywhere. And everyday people who are the heart and soul of our country. They love our movement, they love our country, and they know they're doing right. Your hopes are my hopes, your dreams are my dreams, and your future is what I am fighting for every single day. And now I have a great companion in J.D. Vance. How good was he the other night? How good? He was great.
There was a touch of static.
He was great.
I believe it was from the
But from the very beginning of this journey, I've been on a mission to rescue our country from a failed and very corrupt political establishment, very corrupt. We have to change it. We have to change it. We need also a very free and open press, and to give it back to the country you believe in and I believe in. It's a country that we were born in and the country that you deserve. You deserve this. In that mission, I will never quit. I will never bend. I will never break. I will never yield, not even in the face of death itself. And I believe that every citizen deserves an America with a grand, very, very grand ambition, great opportunities, and limitless. We just want limitless potential. We want an America where you can get ahead and be proud of life and provide for your family in a really decent way, where we don't have crime. We have a fabulous military to protect us from evil. We have everything has to be the best. We have to have the best schools. We have to have strong borders. We don't want bad people coming in and hurting us. We don't want to have open borders, do we? You deserve a government that protects and respects its own citizens, that defends your sovereignty, your security, and your dignity and your freedom. You deserve a nation that builds things, again, makes things better, that aims for the stars once more, and that once again commands respect. And we want to get respect like we had it 4 years ago. The entire world respected us. They respected us. They respected us more than they've ever respected us. And now they laugh at us. We can't have them laugh at us, can we? Above all, you deserve leadership in Washington that does not answer to the lobbyists, to the bureaucrats, or to the corrupt special interests, but answers only to you, the hardworking citizens of America, of which there are a lot of them. We have a lot of them. We have a lot of them. Over the past 8 years, those who want to stop us from achieving this future have slandered me, impeached me, indicted me, tried to throw me off the ballot, and who knows, maybe even tried to kill me. But I've never stopped fighting for you, and I never will. Never will. Never gonna stop. Thank you. Thank you. And in turn, you have always stood with me. You have always stood with me, no matter what. You saw what was going on. You saw the hoaxes and the scams. You saw everything that went on. We are a team. We're a great team, I think. We're probably the best team ever in the history of our country, if you really think about it. We've fought together. We have endured together. We have pushed onward together. And right here in Pennsylvania, we have bled together. We've bled. We've had 3 people that really got hit hard. 2 of them made it. Great doctors, great doctors. They weren't supposed to make it. I wasn't supposed to make it. People said, my great doctor at Butler, said, "Sir, you're the luckiest man alive. This would be a good time for you to go out and buy a lottery ticket." I've never seen anything like. I almost went out and bought a lottery ticket. I'll take it. And 31 days from now, here in this great Commonwealth and all across our land, we are going to win together. We are going to vote together. We're going to win the greatest election in the history of our country, maybe the greatest election all time. After we all have been through all of this together, nobody's gone through what we've gone through. Nobody. Because I go through it, you're going through it too. But there's never been anything like this. You know, I always say there's an enemy from within and there's an outside enemy. And if you're smart, the outside enemy is not going to be a problem. Russia, China, North Korea, we're not going to have a problem if you have a smart president. If you have not such a smart president, then it's a problem. But we have an enemy from within, which I think is much more dangerous than the outside enemy. We stand on the verge of the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. We can make these the 4 greatest years. We'll turn it around so fast that your head will spin. With victory on November 5th, we are going to redeem America's promise and unlock the extraordinary future that is just within our reach. It is now within our reach. Think of it, 1 month from today, 1 month. We got to get there. We got to get there. They'll drop all sorts of bombs. They'll be hitting you, JD. They'll be hitting me. These people, they'll hit and hit. But I think we've almost become immune to it, haven't we? We've become immune to it. You got a little dose of it, a couple of little doses. No, that's the only way. That's the only way they can even think about winning, with open borders. Who wants open borders? Who wants men playing in women's sports? Who wants sex change operations for illegal aliens in holding bins? No, I don't think so. We will begin a new era of soaring income, skyrocketing wealth, millions and millions of new jobs, and a booming middle class. We're going to boom like we've never boomed before. And we're going to unleash a manufacturing renaissance right here in Pennsylvania, including fracking like we've never fracked before. We're going to frack, frack, frack. You know, our opponent said, there'll be no fracking, no fracking. We'll never frack, we'll never frack. Then she started seeing poll numbers, by the way. And by the way, speaking of poll numbers, do you mind if I mention poll numbers? Because I only mention them when they're good. I never mention it. But one that's hit me really amazingly, Rasmussen, very highly respected poll. JD, it just came out. I don't think you heard this one, but this is a shocker. You know, they always say the Democrats will win the Hispanic vote, but we've been creeping up rather rapidly. And Rasmussen is one of the most respected polls. I mean, Republicans would get 4, 5, 6, 9, 10%. They just came out with a poll. 62% for Trump. Think of that. Think of that. And 34% for Kamala. I don't usually use her last name because nobody knows who I'm talking about. I go, Harris, Harris. They say, who's Harris? It's happening all the time. Who's Harris? And we can't find out who she is, because if we do, our country is going to be in big trouble. We will live in a very beautiful city or town that are safe and clean, with borders that are sealed and secure. And again, we want people to come into our country. We all want that. We need that. But you know what? We want them to come in legally. They're going to come in legally and love for our country. And America will once again be strong and confident and free. And we're going to have that. We're going to have it strong, confident, and free. That's why I'm here today. You know, I could right now be having a beautiful life. I don't have to be here. I could be on a gorgeous beach someplace. I have such nice property. I could be I could be in Monte Carlo as an example, but I'd rather be in Butler with you. I would rather. I'd rather be in Butler. And I think JD would rather be in Butler, JD. No, I'd rather be here because we're doing something. You know, they get a lot of rich guys that go, nobody cares about them. I had one about a month ago, very, very rich guy, and he called me up. He said, President, I've known him for a long time. I don't say how long because I don't want my wife to hear that number. It's a long time. But he's very successful, and he said to me, sir, could you do me a favor? The guy's worth billions of dollars. He said, could you do me a favor? I can't get into a restaurant. Do you think you could call them to get me in? And I said, what the hell is the good of being rich if you can't get into a restaurant, right? And I called the maitre d'. Hi, I'm a little embarrassed. Hi, this is Donald Trump. I recognize your voice. I said, would you do me a favor? A friend of mine is online about a mile back. This is a very successful restaurant. And he's got his wife. I described the wife. Could you possibly go get them? Could you go get them and bring them in? And he did. And my friend called me up the next day. He said, thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, doctor, please. Doctor in the house. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, doctor. Yeah, thank you. Take your time, doctor, please. We got plenty of time, right? We got a lot of time. You doing okay? Take your time. We've got to protect our people, right? Take your time. It's all right, doctor. Go ahead. That's all right. That's all right. People come out 2-3 days ago, and then they get it's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing. We appreciate. Everybody appreciates it. Yep. Take your time. That's great. That's great. Do we have the greatest people in the world? We have the greatest people in the world. First responders, thank you very much. Thank you.
So this is kind of an extended medical, and this happens a lot in these Trump rallies with the heat and the crowds and everything. And then some of the older people, there's always something that happens. Somebody passes out or faints or whatever, but this is an extended one. This is much longer than usual. This is much longer than what we see usually with these kinds of, let me fix this. Much longer than what we usually see, but it looks like now the crowd's cheering, so hopefully somebody's on a gurney or they're waving or something's going on. But a lot of drama in Butler, Pennsylvania tonight. But Donald Trump, and this is what he does. He waits. He doesn't, he doesn't speak. He doesn't continue. He waits until the medical stuff.
Thank you, Doctor. Great job.
Oh, there he
goes.
goes.
Thank you very much.
Okay, good.
Thank you, fellas. Thank you, first responders.
There you go. All right. So
very much.
Everything appears to be okay.
People are here for a long time, and we appreciate it very much. And so sometimes that happens. A lot of times that happens, actually. But she'll be great. You watch. So 12 weeks ago, we all took a bullet for America, and all we are all asking is that everyone goes out and votes. We got to win. We can't let this happen to our country. We can't take another 4 years like this. We won't have a country left. We're not going to have a country left. And all of this will be for nothing if you don't get out and vote. It will all be for nothing. We will have talked about it, and if we do it, it'll be the greatest achievement, I think, in the history of politics for all of us for this age. Because we're going to change our country around and fast. We're going to do things that nobody thought were possible. We're going to do them fast. So Pennsylvania, it's time to stand up for America and a time to save our country. This is really about saving our country. It's never been like this. When you look at the crime, look at the crime. Look at the people that are coming in, murderers. 13,099 murderers let in over the last short period of time. Murderers that have been released from penitentiaries, prisons, jails, released into our country. Crime rates all over the world are down. They're taking their gang members and their criminals. They're taking their people in jail, and they're releasing them into our country. We can't have it. We just can't have it. How do you get more simple than that? They're releasing murderers, they're releasing drug dealers, they're releasing gang members and criminals, human traffickers. Mostly they traffic in women, and they're releasing them all into our country, and they're emptying their jails, and their crime rates in Venezuela are way down because, but it's not only in South America, it's all over the world, in Africa, the Congo. There are a lot of people coming out of the Congo in Africa. They're coming out from Asia. They're coming out from the Middle East, Yemen. They're coming out from Yemen. A lot of people coming out of Yemen. And they're known terrorists, and they just release them into our country from countries unknown also. They know nothing about the people. Oh, go right in. These people are crazy. And we have to win. We'll stop it immediately, and it will be a big deportation. We're going to deport these people. We're going to get them out of our country immediately, or we won't have a country. And if we win Pennsylvania, we will win the whole thing. The whole thing will be won. So for the sake of our families, for the sake of our children, we will keep on going. And as the expression goes, I'm a little embarrassed to say it, to be honest with you, but I'm going to say it because a lot of people do say it. We will fight, fight, fight. We're going to fight for our country. We're going to fight for our country. And together we will save this country, we will restore the republic, and America's future will be bigger, better, bolder, brighter, happier, stronger, freer and greater, and more united than ever before. Our country will be united. You'll watch, you'll watch. You know, we had the most successful country ever, maybe in the world during my term. We had the greatest economy that we've ever had. And you know what was happening? We were uniting. The other side, radical left people were coming over. They wanted to meet. They were coming over. Women, men. If you look at population, our black population, our Hispanic population, our Asian population, everybody was doing better. People that went to the best schools and best colleges in the world got the highest marks, and people that couldn't get a high school degree, everybody was doing better, and our country was coming together. And then we got hit with COVID, a gift from China. Some people would call it the China virus. And we did a great job on that, too. We did a great job, but the world was disturbed. $60 trillion in damage worldwide, millions and millions of, tens of millions of people killed. And we still, during this 4-year period, we had the greatest economy, one of the great countries of the world. And we left with a stock market that was higher than it was just prior to COVID coming in. So what we did was something really incredible. But we had the greatest, most successful country ever. We had the greatest economy in our history, and we're going to do it again, and maybe even better. We learned a lot. We learned a lot about people and about doing things and what works and what doesn't work, and we're going to do it, and it's going to be quick. It's going to be quick. And we're going to have safe cities, and we're going to have great cities again, and we're going to have a capital in Washington, D.C., which is right now crime-ridden. You leave from the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, you go drive down to Washington, D.C., and you drive down and you end up getting murdered, you end up getting hurt, you get mugged. We are going to straighten out Washington, D.C. We're going to make it again the most beautiful capital in the world. We're not going to have graffiti. We're not going to have graffiti on our marble columns. We're not going to have roads that have potholes all over them and medians that are falling into the highways. We're going to run it properly. We're going to change it. We're going to run it properly. It's an embarrassment to us. Can you imagine foreign leaders coming in and running over roads that haven't been paved in years? We're honored to be joined tonight by one of the people who is going to help us build this incredible future, and he is a truly incredible guy. And I don't say that often. He's a great gentleman. He's done such an unbelievable job for North Carolina, for Georgia, for Alabama, for Florida, for Tennessee. His name is Elon Musk. He saved free speech. He created so many different great things. Where is he? Come on up here, Elon. He created the first major American car company in generations, and his rocket company is the only reason we can now send American astronauts into space. Come here. Take over, Elon. Just take over.
Hi, everyone. As you can see, I'm not just MAGA, I'm dark MAGA. Well, first of all, I want to say what an honor it is to be here. And, you know, the true test of someone's character is how they behave under fire. And we had one president who couldn't climb a flight of stairs, and another who was fist pumping after getting shot. Fight, fight, fight! Blood coming down the face. Now, America is the home of the brave. And there's no truer test than courage under fire. So who do you want representing America? Yeah, absolutely. And I think this election, I think it's the most important election of our lifetime. This is no ordinary election. The other side wants to take away your freedom of speech.
They want to take away your right to bear arms. They want to take away your right to vote effectively. You got 14 states now that don't require voter ID. California, where I used to live, is just passed a law banning voter ID for voting. I still can't believe that's real. So how are you supposed to have a proper election if there's no ID? It's just meaningless. And free speech is the bedrock of democracy. And if people don't know what's going on, if they don't know the truth, how can you make an informed vote? You must have free speech in order to have democracy. That's why it's the First Amendment. And the Second Amendment is there to ensure that we have the First Amendment. President Trump must win to preserve the Constitution. He must win to preserve democracy in America. Yes. This is a must-win situation. Must win. So I have one ask for everyone in the audience, everyone who watches this video, everyone in the live stream. There's one request. It's very important. Register to vote. Okay? And get everyone you know and everyone you don't know, drag them to register to vote. There's only 2 days left to register to vote in Georgia and Arizona. 48 hours. Like, text people now. Now. Oh, and then make sure they actually do vote. If they don't, this will be the last election. That's my prediction. Nothing's more important. Nothing's more important. So get everyone you know. Everyone. So I'm speaking to people out there. Everyone in the crowd, I think, is already convinced. But for people out there that are watching the video, watching the live stream, you need to get everyone you know, at work, your friends, family, text groups, your social media, everything. Get them to register to vote right now. Only 2 days left for Georgia and Arizona. Only a couple weeks left in Pennsylvania. And if they're not registered to vote, it doesn't matter at that point. Register to vote. I'm being repetitive for a reason, okay? So nothing is more important. And a lot of people think maybe their vote doesn't count. Well, it does, okay? It does. It matters. And this election could be decided by 1,000 votes, 500 votes. A tiny margin. So get everyone you know to register to vote. I believe that's swapthevote.com. I believe that's the site. And double check that your registration is good. Don't take it for granted. I'm just being repetitive about this point because it is the one takeaway, more than anything, that will matter is getting those registrations and then getting everyone you know to actually vote. That is what will decide this election, especially in Pennsylvania. So thank you, and honestly, you want to just be a pest. Just be a pest to everyone you know, people on the street, everywhere. Vote, vote, vote. Fight, fight, fight. Vote, vote, vote. Thank you.
What a great guy. And he'd rather be making rocket ships, because he'd really rather do that. Nobody better. I think he's got 90% of the rockets that go up. But Elon, thank you very much. Incredible, incredible. What do you... Says it's true. What he says is true. You know, we're all having fun here tonight, but if we don't register and if we don't vote, we're just going to look upon this as another sort of nice day in our life, but it won't even be a nice day. We're going to look back and we're going to say, wow, it's a lot of time, a lot of effort. We got to win. If we don't win, it's, as he said, it's just not important. We have to save our country, so you have to get out and vote. You got to get out and vote. You got to get your friends and vote because, you know, they play a lot of tricks, this particular other side. Elon's a very nice guy. He doesn't want to say it, but they play a lot of tricks. We can't let it happen. We can't let it happen again. We can't let it happen. And one thing, they showed us how bad they are. They showed us how bad a job they do. So that's one thing we got from this 4 years. They've done the worst job. That's the worst president in the history of our country. It's the worst vice president in the history of our country. And if you watched over the last couple of days, they are doing, this is a Katrina for them. This is one of the worst, they say it's the worst job ever done on helping people through the ravages of a hurricane. And they're watching, she's out there campaigning in San Francisco, a place that she ruined, okay? She ruined San Francisco. She ruined, think of this, she ruined San Francisco. She was the worst DA. And she ruined the state of California, and now she wants to ruin the United States of America. We can't let her do it. So I called Elon to tell him that they needed Starlink as an example. They couldn't get Starlink. I didn't know what Starlink was, I must tell you. Elon, I'm so embarrassed. I didn't know what the hell Starlink was. He loves Starlink. He can tell you every little screw that's needed, every wire. Me, I didn't know, but when I was in North Carolina and Georgia just the other day, yesterday to be exact, but they were saying we have tremendous communications, especially in North Carolina, and we have tremendous problems. We have no communication. The poles were ripped down, the wires were underwater, houses were destroyed, possibly 1,000 people, maybe more, will be, you know, there's 600 people missing. Missing is not good, because you know what missing means generally. That's really bad. And they had no communication. They had literally no communication with, they called it the mainland because the water was so crazy. It was like they were in the middle of a lake and they'd never seen anything like it. And they said, do you know somebody named Elon Musk? I said, yeah, I happen to know him a little bit. He just endorsed me, actually. Although he endorsed me a long time ago, but he still, to me, every day is a good endorsement from Elon. Nobody's smarter than Elon. And they said, could you do us a favor? Could you help us? We're trying to get Starlink, and it's very hard to get. Most people say you can't even get it. I called up Elon. I said, North Carolina's in big trouble. Georgia's in big trouble. They need communication. They have none because their poles have been knocked down and their wires are underwater and even dangerously underwater, but they have no communication. Elon, could you do something about Starlink, whatever the hell that is, Elon? Whatever Starlink, that's all they want to hear is Starlink. And an amazing thing happened. I got a call from one of the top people in North Carolina. I got a call from another great person in Georgia. And I wasn't finished with my phone call yet. And they got word that Starlink would be delivered to the States. I said, no. And I said, what the hell is he? What kind of a system is that? Normally you'd have to hang up and he'd go and call people. He did it during the phone call. What kind of a system do you have? That's why he's a very advanced person. But I want to thank you, Elon, because I got it. And I said, how does it work? 2 days later, how does it work? They said, much better than the wires. So now I'm saying, why the hell aren't they? You're going to come out very well anyway. And you know, he also said, you don't have to pay me. You pay me someday when you get the money back. You don't have to pay me. He wanted nothing. He's a great guy. Thank you, Elon, for being here. Thank you very much. Great honor. Great honor. Thank you, Elon. And that's heartfelt. I can't even see the end. That's a lot of people here today. We're also joined by a great gentleman, a top, brilliant student. He went to a tremendous college and he graduated like right at the top of his class. In 2 years, I didn't know you could do that. It's 4-year college. Then he went to the military. Then he came out and he did fantastically inside the military. Then he came out, he went to Yale. Then he went to, without the benefit of family ties. You know what that means, right? Without the benefit. That's pretty good without family ties. I don't know too many of those people. They had no family ties. He got in. He can't get in. And he graduated along with his wife. They're not going to have any problems with your kids academically, I can tell you. His wife and him were like the top students in the class. But he went to Yale Law School, and then he went out into the private sector, did great. Then he ran for the Senate, and he did fantastically. He won, and he's like a rocket ship. He's like one of Elon's rocket ships, the way his career is going. But you see why, because he's a really brilliant guy, and you saw that the other night in the debate, right? You saw that the other night in the debate. You know the expression they have? If that were a fight, they would have stopped it, right? So I just want to thank JD. I was always confident in that pick. And we had great people too, JD. We have every one of those guys were great. Every one of them would have done a great job. It was amazing. But we appreciate the job you're doing. And he's also very energetic. And he'll go on anywhere. He'll go on MSDNC. I say, oh, he's on that. He'll go on CNN. It's like he has no problem. He swats them like this. He has no problem. No, it's true. You know, other people say, sir, I'd rather not do that one. I'd rather not do that one, sir. I'd rather not do them because they are, you know, very, with him, he doesn't care. He says, they're not going to outsmart me. So I want to thank JD. You've done a great job. Thank you very much. Amazing. Great. We have a lot of senators and a lot of people from Congress. I'm going to introduce a few of them that are really outstanding, and they are warriors and they're great patriots. Senator Eric Schmidt. Where's Eric Schmidt? He's around here someplace. Nice, tall, handsome guy. Thank you, Eric. What a great job you've done. He helps us so much with the Senate, and we've got a great Senate. We have to get a couple of more senators elected. I think it's going to happen, too. I think it's going to happen. We have members of Congress here. Dan Muser. Dan, where's Dan? Great. Great job. Real warrior. These are warriors. Guy Reschenthaler. That's the hardest name in the Senate to pronounce, but I've learned how to pronounce it. Guy, thank you very much. Great. Where's Guy? Guy, thank you very much, Guy. Glenn G.T. Thompson. Fantastic guy. Thanks, Glenn. Great job. John Joyce. Thank you, John. Great. Corey Mills. He's out there fighting, too. He's out there. He is out there in North Carolina, Georgia. He's out there helping people. Mike Waltz, who's a tremendous national security asset. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike. Okay, and a man who was my doctor. I got to know him as a doctor in the White House, right? And then before that, he was actually an admiral, and then he went to the White House. He was a great admiral. He was a great doctor. And I love him for one reason. They asked him in the White House, the press, the fake news media said, who is the most? He was the doctor for Obama, Bush, and Trump. That's pretty good, right? White House doctor for the three of us. He said, the press, who is the healthiest of the three? He said, definitely it's Donald Trump. There's not even a contest. And I love that guy. When he said that, JD, when he said that, I said, I like this guy. So then he said, you know, sir, he was leaving the White House. He said, you know, I'd love to run for Congress. And he ran against 28 people. They were all running for the Republican primary because whoever won that primary is going to win. I think it's a Trump plus 48. Whoever wins gets 48 point start. And not only did he win, he won easily. And now he's one of the most popular people in Congress and one of the most talented, maybe more importantly. Ronnie Jackson. Ronnie? Where's Ronnie? Where is he? Oh, good. Thank you, Ronnie. And you got a lot of talent surrounding you there. I think it's very important also. We're here for a reason, and that's to win and to honor Corey. But Corey wants us to win, too. And there's a man in the audience that's been very much a career path, a little bit like J.D., a great student, great talented student, and fantastic in the military, then went out to be a tremendous success, one of the most successful people on Wall Street, actually. And he's tough and he's smart, and he's going to make sure you always have fracking in Pennsylvania. And he's going to make sure you have many other things other than fracking. You have a senator that now does nothing. He does nothing. And he doesn't fight for you. He votes with Biden, if you can believe it, like 100% of the time. But this guy, and you know, we're lucky that he does it. I don't know. He might not have done it if he had it to do again. I don't know. But I think he's just one of the most outstanding people anywhere in the country to run for office. And we're lucky that he's doing it, and he's got a real shot. He's doing very well in the polls. It's hard to beat somebody that's been there a long time, but this is somebody that's been there a long time and did nothing. He did nothing. And his name is David McCormick, and he's great, and I hope he's going to be your next senator. And I see somebody else I didn't know he was here. Mike Kelly. I see Mike Kelly there. Stand up. Oh, boy, am I lucky. Am I lucky I spotted him? If I didn't spot you, I was in big trouble, right? This is a man who's beloved in this state, and he's fantastic. So thank you, Mike. Thank you. We also have some terrific people from law enforcement. Butler County Sheriff Mike Sloop. Thank you, Mike. Great job. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. Thank you for your help, too, I could tell you. Thank you for your help. I can say that. Thank you very much. Butler County Commissioner Leslie Oshie. Leslie, thank you. Thank you, Leslie. Great job. RNC Chairman Michael Whatley. This guy is doing a great job. He's doing great. Came from North Carolina. We won North Carolina. He kept their cheating down to a minimum, and we were able to win it, and we were solid all night long. And he's great, but if we don't have good results by the 6th of November, I will never say that about him again. No, he's a great guy. He's working very hard. 24 hours a day he's working, I know that. And he's working mostly on Stop the Steal, because we have a lot of votes. We have plenty of votes. Stop the steal. That's why you've got to get out. You've got to get out and vote. We're going to win this thing. And the more we win it, you know, it's too big to rig, you know, the expression we use, make it too big to rig. You know, at a certain point, Elon would understand this better than anybody statistically. At a certain point, their cheating doesn't matter, and we want to make it too big to rig. And we also have somebody that's very special, the co-chair of the Republican Party, Lara Trump. Thank you. Lara, thanks. And, you know, oftentimes with families, they say, oh, you know, why did you put that one in or this one in, and all the different people. So many people have problems with that. In her case, everyone said, how the hell did you get her to do it? She has been unbelievable, so thank you very much. Comes from North Carolina, and I have a feeling she's going to be spending some time down there a little bit. And she's married to my wonderful son, Eric, who's right here. So, Eric, please stand up. He's a great guy. Eric has a distinction. He has gotten more subpoenas than any man in the history of our country by about 10 times. Every day Congress would meet, they'd send him a subpoena. What is it about? They have no idea. But I think he's got the all-time record, and he's handled it all beautifully. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. A friend of mine, a great, great businessman, one of the most respected people, and he made a big, big contribution yesterday to Georgia and a big contribution to North Carolina. Steve Witkoff is here. Hi, Steve. Thanks. And another man who's one of the greatest businessmen in the country, he actually said that if Trump doesn't win, this country is going to go into a massive depression. Well, I don't know about that, but he has been a very good predictor, I will say that. And truly one of the greats, one of the great pickers, picker meaning stocks. He knows what he's doing, and highly respected by everybody. John Paulson. Thank you, John. Great. Great guy. Now, we have so many others, and I won't do it because we have to really get out of here before it gets too cold for people. But I love it much better because there's one teleprompter. Not that I use the teleprompters too much. Isn't it nice to have a president that doesn't need a teleprompter? No, we don't need it. But this one was right smack in the sun. Great job back there, fellas. They said the teleprompters are working fine. Well, thank goodness. Did you see what happened the other day with the teleprompter with her? That was not a pretty sight. The teleprompter went off and she went off too. She didn't know what the hell happened. And you know, teleprompters are very dangerous because they go off a lot. You have to be prepared for them to go off cold blank. You'll have 100,000 people, you have 75,000 people, you have this, and if the teleprompter goes off, you got to be able to move. She did not move well. This was not a good situation. But 3 more heroes from July 13th who rendered first aid to Corey incredibly. Dr. Jim Sweetland. Rico Elmore, who was unbelievable. Rico, you were unbelievable. He ran over, National Guard, he ran over and grabbed Corey, and Corey was still living, and he was doing mouth-to-mouth resuscitation on a man who was really in bad shape like nobody's ever seen, and his family appreciates it, and I do too. So thank you, Rico, very much. Right? Amazing, amazing, amazing the people that we have. And you learn about them under times like this. That's when you really learn. So we're going to be seeing Rico again. And Ed Shear, fantastic job. Thank you, Ed. We appreciate it. Thank you, Ed. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ed. Great job. In addition, this evening we have to send our prayers and support to all the families affected by Hurricane Helene. This has been the worst hurricane response by a president and vice president since Katrina, and this is simply not acceptable. Those people, I was there yesterday with North Carolina and Georgia, and I'll tell you, and by the way, the governor of Georgia is doing an excellent job, but we have other people that aren't doing a good job, and we have to have them do a good job, but the federal government is doing a very bad job. They are not doing the job, and we have death and destruction that we haven't seen maybe ever. It's a real bad one, and they have to get people there. Because they don't have people there. They don't have the people. Kamala wined and dined in San Francisco, and all of the people in North Carolina, no helicopters, no rescue. It's just what's happened there is very bad. They're offering them $750 to people whose homes have been washed away. And yet we send tens of billions of dollars to foreign countries that most people have never heard of. They're offering them $750. They've been destroyed. These people have been destroyed. The one young lady washed, you saw that with her son. I mean, pretty, I wish I never saw it, but just washed away. Your son was washed away with the grandparents, and so sad. And they're giving them $750. And think of it, we give foreign countries hundreds of billions of dollars, and we're handing North Carolina $750. If you want a president who won't even try to save you when the floodwaters are rising, vote for Kamala. She's not the right person. Look, you know what? If they did a good job, I wouldn't have run. To be honest with you, I didn't need to do this. I didn't need to. If I thought they were doing an even modestly good job, I wouldn't have run, but I saw right from the beginning, grossly incompetent, and I was right about that, and I decided to run, and we're doing really well. I was telling you about polls. We're way up in some polls. We're up in other polls. And with the swing states, I think most of them have us up in every single swing state, including the great commonwealth of a place called Pennsylvania. And don't ever not call it a commonwealth, because I've seen people call it a state, and that's the end of them. That's practically the end of their political career. You got to be very careful with Pennsylvania. It's that commonwealth. I haven't made that mistake. I don't want to either. It was not a pretty picture. If you want a president who will stop at nothing to protect you and your family, I hope you're going to vote for a gentleman named Donald J. Trump. Have you heard of him? Together we will rebuild Western North Carolina, rural Georgia, and every other state that's been so badly affected. That includes Alabama. Virginia was very hit hard. South Carolina was hit very hard. Florida. So many states. Tennessee was hit really hard. They were all hit, and we're going to work with them. And, the next president is going to be the one that really, once they got to get this done. But once that happens, the next president is going to be the one that has to really help them. And J.D. will be there to help them. I know that. 2024 is the most important election in the history of our country. And here are the facts. My opponent, Kamala Harris, is the most incompetent and far-left nominee ever to run for president. You know, she's much further left than crazy Bernie Sanders. You know that. She wants to open borders. She took the most secure border in U.S. history and turned it into the worst border in the history of the world. Remember, she was appointed border czar. She says she wasn't now after 3 years, but she was. But whether she was or not, she was in charge of the border. And the other day I saw her get up and say, we will do this, we will do that. Why didn't they do it 4 years ago? Why didn't they do it? The damage is so bad and so it's been done. She let in 21 million illegal aliens from all over the world, from prisons and jails and mental institutions and insane asylums, and they're terrorists at record levels, at levels we've never seen before. She cost you $29,000 a family through inflation price hikes. And now she wants a larger tax hike. She wants to go the largest tax hike in American history. There's never been a tax hike like what she's proposing. She's going to raise your taxes a minimum of $3,000. She's a big taxer. And she was the original creator of Defund the Police. I think for all the sheriffs over here, if you're a partner in Defund the Police for even 2 days, you cannot be president. But she was one of the founders of Defund the Police, and she still believes that, by the way. I don't know how anybody could, but she still believes that. And if she ever had a chance, there's a good possibility she'd go back to it. Can you imagine? Somebody's robbing our house. Well, there's nothing we can do about it. That's what they say there's nothing. You know, they tried it. And you know where they tried it? In Minnesota with our vice president. And it wasn't working out too well. It was working out very well for the robbers and the criminals. That's the only one it was working out well for. Kamala Harris vowed to abolish ICE. She wants mass amnesty and citizenship for illegals. And worst of all, she lost, and this is maybe the worst thing in the whole, that nobody talks, the fake news won't mention it. She lost more than 325,000 migrant children that are now dead in slavery or just plain missing, probably never to be seen again, never to see their parents again. But this isn't like, this is 325,000 have been lost. She praised the idea of a 70% to an 80% tax rate. She imposed a natural gas export ban on Pennsylvania, which is killing your energy workers and your pricing. You know, you have one of the highest energy costs in the country, and yet you're sitting on top of a massive amount of energy that she doesn't want to get. It's been a disaster for your state, and now she's vowed repeatedly. Now, all of a sudden, she changed her mind. But when, you know, with politicians, it's always the first statement that comes out to be the one they want. So she spent 14 years knocking fracking. We're never going to have fracking. We're not going to frack. All of a sudden, a little while ago, she came out, I love fracking very much. No, she'll go back to it. And she even endorsed free sex changes for illegal aliens in detention at taxpayer expense. I don't think Elon likes that idea. These are not ideas that Elon Musk likes too much. And it was just announced yesterday in California, and he took this one from me. I'm so upset. But think of it, that the far less than average governor, Gavin Newsom, has banned any and all ID requirements from voting and registering to vote. You're not even allowed to mention the fact, Elon, you're not allowed to mention the fact. You can't say, may I see your ID? If you do, it's a criminal act. This is a takeover of the country. You're not allowed to ask for an ID. If you do, it's a criminal count. Other Democrat states are following. This is only so they can cheat. There's only one thing that you do this for, so that you can cheat on elections. There's no other conceivable reason. Kamala Harris is a radical left Marxist. She is a woman that's not respected in Congress. She was laughed at Congress. Nobody thought she could win. You know, they did a coup of Biden. Whether you like him or not, I'm not a particularly big fan, but we had a debate, and the debate ended, and all of a sudden they come to him and they say, we want you out. You're not going to win the election. And he said, I don't want to get out. He got 14 million votes. If you believe in democracy or a system, he got 14 million votes, and she got none. She was the first one out, 22 candidates, and she never made it to Iowa. She quit before Iowa, and now she's running, and that's okay. But, you know, we spent $150 million beating Biden, and as soon as he was down and out for the count, they said, let's take him out. We'll give somebody else to run. Never happened before. We do a lot of firsts, I will tell you. We do a lot of firsts. But she's a person that rated even worse in every statistic than any other senator. She was rated at the bottom of the U.S. Senate. She's destroyed everything she touched, but the good news is that we have a plan to fix it. We're going to fix it. We're going to fix it fast. Nobody is going to stand for open borders. Nobody is going to stand for a bad military. Nobody is going to stand for education that's not proper. We're moving education back to the states. You're going to be running your own education. So we have, you know, in education, so important is what's more important than education, but we rank at the bottom of every list. They rank 40 major countries. We're at the bottom, but we're top of the list as the cost per pupil. We spend more per pupil, per student, than any other country anywhere in the world. So we're number one in that, and we're number 38, 39, or 40 every single time. And you have Denmark, you have Sweden, you have Norway, you have China. It's always the top 5. Can you believe it? China's the top 5. That's amazing. But we're going to move our education back to the states. So places like Indiana and Iowa and Idaho and states that you don't even hear too much of because they're so good and so well run, they're going to run their own education. And you know what's going to come out of that? A Denmark, a Norway, a Sweden, maybe, I don't even know, China. Can you imagine China with 1.4 billion people is a top 5, and we're close to 40. We are 40 sometimes. Starting on day 1, I will seal the border and stop the migrant invasion into our country. We will begin the largest deportation operation in the history of the United States. Dwight Eisenhower right now has that record. It's not, and by the way, it's not something I want to do. I dread having to do it, but we have no choice. What they've done to our country is not even believable, especially the criminals, the criminal element that's in our country. And again, all over the world, crime rates are down because they've taken their criminals and they've dumped them into the United States. And you know what? I would have been worse than them. I would have had it done even faster. They've dumped them into the United States of America, and that's what we have. And it's dangerous out there. We're getting them out. We're getting them out quickly. And we will defeat inflation, and we will make America affordable again. And it's going to start with liquid gold. We have more liquid gold, oil, and gas under our feet than any nation in the world, including Saudi Arabia and Russia. We will become energy independent like we were just 4 years ago. You know, 4 years ago, we were energy independent. Can you believe it? And then we were going to become energy dominant. We will be dominant within a matter of months, and we will make so much money. We are going to drill, baby, drill. And we will again open ANWR. Ronald Reagan tried to do it. Every single president from before Reagan tried to do it, and I got it done. ANWR is the largest drilling site anywhere in the world. It could be larger than Saudi Arabia, could be larger than Russia. It's in Alaska. And I got it done, and we worked to get it done. And one of the first things he did was terminate ANWR, and that was going to take care of all of Asia. That was going to make us so much money. We would have paid off debt. You would have gotten, I gave you the biggest tax reduction in history. You would have gotten even a bigger one. You were going to be just very happy. You were going to say, I like that guy very much. 20 million Americans are behind on their electric bills right now. It was just announced. 20 million Americans, they're struggling to pay their monthly bills at a record rate. There's never been anything like it. And it's all because of their anti-U.S. energy regime, which has caused Pennsylvania electricity prices to raise almost 50%. We will cut energy and electricity prices in half within 12 months. We will have your energy prices, your air conditioning, heating, cars if you buy a Tesla, which is good. Which is good. We will have your energy prices cut in half. It'll be cut in half within a period of 1 year from January 20th, which is the day we take office. And that's going to save you a lot of money. And that's going to, in turn, bring down the prices of everything because, you know, more than anything else, people tell me about the groceries. The groceries are groceries. They use and what they're talking about is food. Everything's going to be coming down when we do that. We're also going to get your interest rates way down. We will bring automobile manufacturing back to the United States at levels never seen before, and we will turn the United States into a manufacturing superpower again. It hasn't been there in many, many years. We had it started 4 years ago. The centerpiece of my plan for a manufacturing renaissance will be a 15% made in America corporate tax rate. In other words, if you make your product in the United States, you get a rate. So I cut it from 39% to 21%. Everyone said that was impossible. I got it done, and we had the best boom we've ever had. We did more revenue when we had it at 21 than when it was at 39. Think of it, much more. The following year, we did much more. And then I'm going to take it from 21 to 15, which will make us the most competitive country in the world. Nobody will be able to compete with us. But that 15 rate only goes for those who make their product in America. They have to make their product here, otherwise they pay 21. And we will protect those companies moving into America and all of our existing companies with stiff tariffs placed on companies that don't move in. If they don't come in, if they don't want to make their product here, that's fine, but they're going to be tariffed. We have to protect our companies, and that's what we're going to do. The only way they can get out of paying those tariffs is to build their plants and factories in America. We may even be able to get Elon to build some of them. I think we will. And hire American workers for the job. We're going to hire American workers for the job. We will pass the Reciprocal Trade Act. If China or any other country charges us 100 or 200% tax, then we will likewise charge them a 100 or 200% tax. We had a lot of problems on that one with the Senate, and we're going to get that done. Think of it. They charge us, and we don't charge them. Now they charge us. We're going to charge them the same thing. Reciprocal. It's reciprocal. I will not let Mexico, China, or any other country sell cars into the United States to the detriment of our auto workers who will do better than they have ever done. We're going to bring back the car business like it was 50, 60, and 70 years ago. Everyone's going to want to be back here. And I will not approve Japan buying U.S. Steel 70 years ago, the greatest company anywhere in the world. It was the greatest company anywhere in the world, and now we have Japan buying U.S. Steel. I don't like that. We will deliver massive tax cuts for workers, and we will have a policy that I think is so great. No tax on tips. No tax on overtime. And no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. No tax. And you know, when you think of it, our seniors were hurt so badly. Inflation has killed our seniors. You know, they have a fixed income, and it just got worse and worse every week, every month. It's gotten worse and worse, and it's just horrible. And they haven't gone down. They've only gone up. Prices have still only gone up. And while working Americans catch up, we're going to put a temporary cap on the credit card interest rates at 10%. People are paying 28% interest, 25% interest. I will always protect Social Security and Medicare with no cuts. We're not going to do anything with Social Security, but they're going to destroy Social Security because all of the migrants coming in are going on between Medicare, Social Security, other programs, and nobody is able to afford it. I will settle the war in Ukraine. I will end the chaos in the Middle East, and I will prevent, I promise you, World War III. We're not going to have World War III. And right now, we're very close to having it. We will lead the world in space exploration. Thank you, Elon. We will lead the world in military, and we will reach Mars before the end of my term. Elon promised me he was going to do that. I don't know. Can you do that? Stand up. Can we do that? He wants to reach. I think he's going to do it. JD, work on him. Work on him. Work on him. JD is working on Elon. Now, he told me that we're going to win, and he's going to reach Mars by the end of our term, which is a big thing. Before China, before anybody, right? And my money's on that guy right there. We will rebuild our cities, including Washington, D.C., making them safe, clean, and beautiful again. And we will keep the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency. It's losing right now. It's losing right now, but I'll be able to do it. Other people won't. I'll tell these countries as they leave us I say, you want to do business in the United States? You're going back into the reserve currency. And if you don't, we're going to charge you a big, fat, beautiful tax to do business in the United States. And they're going to say, I would love very much to go back into the U.S. reserve currency. No, we're going to save it. But these people aren't going to save it. They don't know how to talk. They don't know how to think. Together, we will deliver low taxes, low regulations, low energy costs, low interest rates, and low inflation so that everyone can afford groceries, a beautiful car, and a home. Very basic. It's very basic. We will stop the invasion, end migrant crime, strengthen our military, build a missile defense shield around our country, keep critical race theory and transgender insanity. We're going to keep it the hell out of our school. We're going to keep that insanity out of our school. And as I said, we will keep men out of women's sports. So demeaning to women. You saw that in the Olympics. They have female boxing, women's boxing, and a young lady from Italy, very good boxer, very, very good. She was all excited, but she played a person who transitioned. A male transitioned to a female. And the young girl from Italy, beautiful young woman. I'm not allowed to say that anymore politically, but I'll say it. She was a beautiful young woman. If you say that, that's the end of your career, right? But it's not. If it is, so be it, okay? We've got to get back to real life. But this beautiful young lady is out, and she gets, little jab, left jab. And she goes back, oh, my God, I've never been hit like that. This is just like a defensive. Then he goes, the corner say, you can take her. You can. So they push her out. Boom, another one. And she says, that's enough. I can't do it. I can't take it. I've never seen anything like. So we had two people that transitioned. Both people, shockingly, won the gold medal in their division. So it's crazy. And if you look at weightlifting contests, they're the best of all. For years and years and years they put an eighth of a pound on one side of the barbell, an eighth of a pound on the other, and they can't do it. And the record's standing for 18 years. They just can't do it. And then a guy comes along who never lifted before. And he puts 100 pounds on, and he goes like this, like it's nothing. It's so demeaning to women. We're not going to allow it to happen. It's ending. No men playing in women's sports. And we will defend the Second Amendment, protect religious liberty, restore free speech, and we will secure our elections. Everyone will prosper, every family will thrive, and every day will be filled with opportunity and hope. We need hope. We need the American dream back, don't we? We're going to have the American dream. We're going to have the American dream, so every kid in your family is going to grow up and say, I want to be like Elon Musk. I want to have 200 billion in cash. I'm going to be like Elon Musk. That's the American dream. But for that to happen, we must defeat Kamala Harris, and we must stop her country-destroying, radical left agenda once and for all. We cannot have it happen. So you must get out and you must vote. Here in this incredible Commonwealth, we stand on the shoulders of generations of Pennsylvania patriots who gave everything they could give, every single thing for their rights and for their freedom. Pennsylvania is where our founding fathers declared American independence and sounded the beautiful Liberty Bell. It's where the Army weathered its brutal winter at Valley Forge, where General George Washington led his men on a daring mission across the Delaware, and where generations of tough, strong, beautiful miners and steelworkers put Pennsylvania spirit into every single thing they did. And from Gettysburg to Germantown and Philadelphia to Barron Hill, and from Brandywine to right here in Butler, this is the place where Pennsylvania patriots poured out their blood with the love of their country. They love their country so much. And so in honor of all those American heroes who came before us, we will press forward, we will push onward, and together we will win, win, win. We're going to win, win, win. Nothing will sway us, nothing will slow us, and no one will ever stop us, no matter what dangers come our way, no matter what obstacles we must face. We will keep striving toward our magnificent American future. We will not fail. We will not allow ourselves to fail. From this day forward, we will always put America first, and we will take back and save the United States. November 5th, Election Day, will be the most important day in the history of our country. And together with the great people of Pennsylvania, we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America healthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Pennsylvania. God bless you. God bless you, Pennsylvania.
That's here, we'll put that on. That's the Donald Trump rally, the return to Butler, PA. Butler, Pennsylvania, where Donald Trump had several special guests. I think stealing the show, Elon Musk in his dark MAGA hat, which is going to be a top seller now if it isn't already. And man, I'll tell you what, it was a fantastic rally, a big long stop there for the medical stuff. But truly, the interesting thing that happens is that Donald Trump is consistent in his messaging, has the same messaging, comes out and says the same things at the same rally to a lot of the same people. In this case, probably really a lot of the same people that came to that first rally. And it is just as poignant, and it's just as inspirational, and it's just as exciting to hear it every single time that we do hear it. And there's going to be more rallies. We got 30 days. Tomorrow's 30 days. It's October 5th. The election's November 5th. We're almost there. And so it's it's not going to be the last rally. This may be one of the most important rallies. This may be one of the most inspirational and inspiring rallies we've ever seen because of where it is in Butler, Pennsylvania. That doesn't really go with the music I'm playing, but that's all right. Listen, thank you so much, everybody, for your super chats. Thank you for your generosity, Chris and Marianne and Lynn and Carrie and everybody else who watched and stuck with us this long. And thanks to everybody on Rumble. We got some great Rumble rants and a whole great conversation going on Rumble. Thanks to everybody on X and Facebook. I appreciate it. We'll do something tomorrow. I don't have a time yet for tomorrow because it's Sunday. We've got some church things. I'll try to squeeze it in. And then Monday, we're going to go whole hog because, as I said before, we are 30 days away from Election Day, the day where we decide if we are going to throw it all away or if we're going to buckle down and do what we need to do to save our republic. Have a good night, everybody.